So we are going to be doing a new colony. Chat over here on Twitch hath voted. I don't remember what half of these are. So let's see. Right, so that's the one I normally do. Where we've got no man in black. We don't start with any tech. I don't have the random research on. I do want the random research on. No, with the not. We'll make it so we can choose our research. Normally, I like to do random research. We'll just choose it. So we're gonna try to edit the scenario because what we're looking to do is I want to try to make it so every single person in the world will have some addiction that needs to be cured. Forced health condition. All characters. So, there isn't like a generic addiction thing. We have to choose an addiction, which is what I was kind of worried about, which is fine. So the two choices we have is one, I could start, you know what, this is going to be a terrible idea. How many different addictions are there in their game? There's 1, 2, 3. We can't cure Luciferum, so we'll keep that off. 3, 4, 5. 5 different types of addictions in the world. So what we can go ahead and do is that means 20% chance. I don't really care about the severity part. I mean, we could sit here and go like this. I mean, well, 0 wouldn't matter. We'll put it at max addiction here. Oh, I haven't gotten the queue started. I haven't done that in a while. Queue start. So people want themselves to be in the colony. So we'll have forced health condition. Forced health condition. Forced health condition. Okay. So, we have alcohol addiction. We have ambrosia addiction. 20%. And again, I am going to make them fairly severe. We have go juice addiction. 80% chance. Okay, all characters, please. Now, the catch with doing it this way is there is a chance we will have people who won't have an addiction, and we're just going to make it a rule that, like, I don't bring those people on. Those people could come and go kind of things. Am I missing one? So we have Psychite, Wake Up, Go Juice, Ambrosia. Yeah, I think that's all. Right, because Smoke Leaf addiction is a Psychite addiction. No, it's not. Why don't I see... Can you not get addicted to Smoke Leaf? That doesn't sound right. Am I just missing it? It's fine. So what we'll do is to make it so it's more likely to be this. Well, that's the thing. We're going to make it just over a 1/3 chance. We're going to get a lot of people with multiple addictions, which is going to be really, really awful. Like, really awful. But that should mean the odds of getting someone with no addictions is relatively low. Oh, change the severity? Yeah. Because I want it to be basically the addictions are a real problem. Like, that's going to be the big part of this run. So let's save. Basic Lost Tribe addiction. Next. Alright. There's one for Smoke Leaf. It's labeled dependence instead of addiction. Oh. Alright, well, I'll just add that on there. Forced health condition. 35%. This is going to be real bad, because we're going to have a lot of people rolling in with like 3-4 different simultaneous addictions. So there's going to be a bad time. Let's see. Smoke leaf dependence. I was like, I would add the luciferum, but there's no, like, you can't cure luciferum addiction. And on top of that, even if you could, there's no way I'd have the supply to manage it. So it gets all 5? All 6. Just start with 5,000 luciferum. I'm expecting the beginning of this colony to be absolute agony. Because this is going to be a whole thing. You can cure it with a shotgun blast or 2. Alright. Normally I play on Strive to Survive. I am juggling with this one. I think we're actually going to drop down to Adventure Story on this one. Well, let's actually see. Right. Because the thing I'm expecting is, honestly, most of our threat is not going to be the raids. The threat is going to be our colony imploding to the point that anything with a pulse can walk over us. We will do commitment mode. We'll do Strive to Survive. We'll give that a go. We'll see how it goes. Alright, global coverage, full map, that's fine, don't care. And the other thing we said we were going to do is, separate from the addiction thing, we're going to start everyone not liking us, and we're going to try to ally the world exclusively by feeding them. So that's the whole thing. Commitment mode sketches you out, because your bad bug happens, you're screwed. Yep. Mechs don't have a pulse. Right, so that's the thing. So I gotta remember which ones start hostile. Fierce Tribe is hostile to begin with, right? I wish it showed me their friendliness. I was pretty sure it was Fierce Tribe, Fierce Neanderthal, Savage Tribe. Impids you can't. Pirates you can't. Yatkin you can't. Yeah, these ones down here, I think all the ones that are red you can't. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think all the ones in red here cannot be allied. But I do want the ones that are hostile to us. I think cannibal tribes will attack you as well. I'm okay with that. The nudist tribe, I think is... I think they start out... as not hostile. So we're just going to evenly split between all of those. Alright, so let's actually go in here. I am down to keep the mechs around, and I am down to keep the insectoids around. I will leave the Empire, let's see. Cannibal is full hostile. Well, that's the whole thing, is I fully... Well, let's just fill this up with Fierce Tribes, then. I've already got 4 groups of Neanderthals, and that's terrifying in its own right. Okay, so we do have the Insectoids, we do have the Mech Hive, and we just got... All these ones are going to start hostile to us, and will naturally have a tendency to be hostile to us. And we're going with that. The only one that's going to affect our quest variety is the lack of the Empire, but the Empire starts as neutral, and I'd rather not go with that. I don't think we change anything about this, that's all fine. We don't have many maps that, or many mods that change anything. Like, the no starting research is something that penalizes me. And then the geological landforms changes some of the map stuff. But basically everything else here, for the most part, is 100%, like, music. Like, that, technically, I get a +1, you know, mood bonus if I do it. But generally, all of the rest of this is just UI. So, I've got one thing that makes it harder for me. And I've got one thing that just gives me variety. Let's see. Yeah, no, that was with the... If the cannibals weren't full hostile, it was going to be a thing to try and reform them as well. So, meanwhile, if we are going to be feeding the world, I will be choosing a place that has a decent grow zone. Or a decent growing period. Because it would not work to feed the whole world if we were in some tile where, you know, we're sitting there the whole time and it can only grow like one season out of the year, one quarter of the year, whatever. We almost never we don't do Swamper that hardly anymore because we're usually doing random research. But this time we're doing no research, so it does make hot tiles an option where normally I can't. I'm looking for an area with lots of neighbors that I could potentially work with that. Because we have lots of neighbors here around, nearby, that should make it a lot easier for me to caravan over to deal with that. Yeah, so that's the thing. I'm debating whether we're doing, like, rainforest, swamp, or temperate, and leaning more towards, like, the rainforest side of things. I just want to find a rainforest with a road nearby it, since we are going to need to caravan a lot to keep people fed. Or not to, like, to do the whole befriending thing. Alright. Is there any particularly interesting tiles I want to go for? Yeah, these are all just shooting up regular rainforest tiles, which is fine. We might just go with a, pretty standard tile. There's no oasis, I'm not gonna do that, because that'll be a bunch of sand, which won't help the whole grow things. We're already, like, we're not gonna be choosing a super spicy tile on this one, because we've already stacked some pretty awful stuff. I think I might literally just do just a standard rainforest tile. But there might be less chance of landform on a road tile. Maybe. We could check immediately around. I can't remember what options you even have that can show up in open rainforest tiles. Because imagine they'll have like Badlands and that might show up. But I think I might just go with like any old tile just on here. Not be picky about it. Yeah, so I'll just grab this one right by the edge of the rainforest. Doesn't have a lot of people nearby, but it has some. I'm okay if we have to caravan a decent distance. I don't see another good area that's... Oh, actually, we got a bunch of swamp and rainforest over here with roads. That'd be a little better for convenience of location. I've got roads to go up to these three, and that one up there, one that goes down here. This road gets close enough that I could get to those ones without too much of a hassle. Yeah, we could do the spot. We'll do the crossroads right here. Tropical rainforest, year-round growing. Alright. We are going to do a fluid ideology. We'll just do ideological. That's fine. So... we're going to have to be careful. I can't do nature primacy. Everyone will melt down from us cutting down trees. We are probably going to be forcing our will on other people, so there's certainly something to say about Paralysizer. We could do human primacy as something, because I'm not planning on leaning in on the animals, and we are going to be absolutely destroying the environment to make room for our farms. And it does give you a production specialist. Because later on, I'll be able to get the ones that are like, they only want to eat vegetables and all that. Alright, one moment. Alright, sorry. There is a bug you believe with landforms could have been a different mod with a bad interaction with an R that disabled road spawns, but yeah, no, I think that can happen, that if you have certain landforms and put it on a road, that'll be a thing. I think I'm leaning towards the fairly neutral Paralysizer to begin with. Just with that. And we are going to have certain precepts. There is going to be no harvesting organs. There will be... Yeah, important is the lowest. I thought there was a literally no. I don't care about that part. I thought there was literally a no. Slavery is not allowed. I wish a lot of them you could just say not allowed. Yeah, we don't care about that. We don't care about that. That's fine. Whatever. Diversity thought. Whatever. Fungus is fine. We're just going to make it so that's free. We won't make that a hassle. I'm gonna make that frequent for my own personal preferences. We can leave all that. What I'm looking for is there is the drug policy. So we are going to add a thing here, add precept. drug use, prohibited. Because, yeah, drug use is going to be prohibited outright. That's the one we added. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. So drug use is prohibited because we are trying to rehab everyone. And then we'll just do this so converting people is easier. So this is something making my life easier. Otherwise, I'll leave it the way it is. I usually also go in here and just take off the required clothing because I find the required clothing an absolutely obnoxious mechanic. Celebration of Justice. I hate it. Let's see that. Yeah, they'll discover a complex. I was just making sure that they weren't going to give me a reputation bonus. Don't care about the rest of that. We're not going to get into a whole bunch of effort here. So, Neo Justice. Alright. So, if we have anyone who doesn't have an addiction, they are ineligible. We do have, everyone has an addiction. We are going to be looking to have a decent range of skills. You're an awful pawn. Drug addiction. Oh my god. 4 addictions stacked. Alright, so we've got a really good cook. Oh, right. I'm gonna have to have them destroy their drugs immediately upon, like, as soon as we can. I won't be able to do it immediately. I'll have to make a fire. So, I really need someone with some medical. I mean, that's a good pawn, other than... I'll take them. The only reason I'm not excited is they are an undergrounder who's gonna be really upset forever. And they are a pacifist, but they are medical and capable, and would fill out literally everything. I am not taking a slothful slow learner. We're already dealing with enough stuff. Iron Willed and super immune is amazing, and medical. You're a pretty solid pawn. I'm getting all these undergrounders are gonna hate existence, and beautiful. Who is extremely good at killing things. Yeah, we'll just be bad at research. We honestly got some good stuff here. We've got a dedicated cook who can craft and social. I mean, we've got multiple cooks, we've got multiple doctors, we've got people who can plant, we've got people who can do construction and mining. Like, we actually have a really good setup. Research. A Superimmune has no addictions? You're right. They're out. I don't want Body Purist. Stop giving me all sorts of awful stuff. I mean, really high crafting and all that, that'll work. Ambrosia addiction. So just double checking, everyone has an active addiction. Because we are trying to rehab everyone. The Left Behinds, even though I don't care about them, they do all have addictions. So we've got every single thing covered. Which is really good. We got multiple doctors on top of that, and multiple cooks, which I never get that at the start of a colony anymore. The one place we do have a hole in our skill set is research, and at least it's 4. So while it does have a hole, it's not super awful. And I think we'll go with that. Yeah, thanks for catching that the Superimmune didn't have an addiction. If we do accidentally get someone into the colony that doesn't have an addiction, we'll send them out. I'm actually not expecting that to be something we run into. Planting isn't great for trying to feed the world. I mean, actually in RimWorld, planting's the thing you can scale kind of the most. The animals require plants to live, so that becomes the thing. We don't care about the scenario text, we didn't modify it. Alright, so before we get into it, we've got our people here. So looking at our map, we have the Ancient Dangers right there. There's another Ancient Danger up there, potentially. So we might actually have a 2 Ancient Danger map here. I believe you can have up to 3 Ancient Dangers on your map normally. It's just really unlikely. So with that, I'm not going to bother looking for the... That's a lot of fertile soil. Alright, I was about to say I'm not going to look for the fertile soil, but I mean... That's a lot of fertile soil. So we'll go ahead here. And I will set a spot here. That'll be our first field. You're going to be rice. We'll get that going. We do have the monolith. I'm not going to focus on the monolith. The point of this run isn't to be a anomaly run. I didn't disable anomaly, nor will I, but I'm not going to activate it to escalate anomaly either. So we will get the occasional anomaly things, but it should be fairly tame on that regard. We'll have the dumping stockpile for corpses. So we'll go up here, go clear. I accidentally unpaused, don't mind me. So we're going to clear all. We're going to put corpses. Any human-like corpses go in the swamp. Keep the monolith at the side of the farm. I'm going to do my best. It is relatively there. Obviously, I'm not going to move the monolith. But with that, I need to go through and get all our roles and all that set up. This is why I want to do this. I haven't played in a little while, so it's just taking a hot minute to be like, where do I do stuff? Okay, so we got our schedules. We didn't have any night owls, right? No night owls, so go to our schedule. You can have a recreation break at the end of your day. That's fine. We'll start this by ticking all the boxes that have passions. And then with that, we'll set these. Oh, you know what? I thought we had 2 doctors. That's right, we got rid of one. That's not great for swamp tile or tropical rainforest tile, but that's okay. Focus on you dealing the social stuff. You can handle if we bother handling. So you can handle and cook. You can be a crafter. Yeah, so I have those priorities here. And I'll plan for you 2 to be crafters as your priority. Alright, so okay, that's gonna be a minor change. So you're not gonna be the main cook. We will make you the main cook. So you're the main cook, so that you can farm. This person is just gonna be... This person will be a crafter, and then our researcher. And you're obviously gonna be our construction person. So, we do have a decent mix here. Not great, but decent. So we're all good with that. So we've got our first farm thing going there. So we're going to build the farm on this side for right now. You'll start building the structures over on this side. I'm going to have it butt right up to the road for the moment. And so for right now, we'll just have an enclosed space here. Alright, so now I need to go through here. And we need to figure out people's... Oh, I need to go to... Orders, allow, unforbid all. We have one brawler. Okay, so you're gonna be over here. You get the Equa. You are one of my better ranged people. You're going to help out with the melee team for the moment, so let's have you grab the knife. You can get the Pila. And you are pacifist, and never mind, Cody, you get that. I know you're good at melee, but I don't really care, actually. We can worry about that later. So colonists need beds on... Oh. Beer. Not allowed. Flake. Not allowed. Ambrosia. Not allowed. Is that all the drugs we've got? Okay, so we'll get that set up. We're going to go over here. We're going to... 3, 4, 5. Get those built first. I am going to go out of my way. Normally, I wouldn't make this an earlier priority. But just with our challenge, I'm going to build the fire right away. Because I'm going to build that fire so I could have them burn the drugs. Fallen Monolith, that's fine. Don't care. So I've got a bunch of them working on various projects. They're all going to eat as, early on as they can. Oh, they gave us animals? Oh yeah, all of these animals are totally dead. All of these animals are totally dead. Not one of those animals are animals I want to keep around. They get to survive for as long as they can for the initial. I'm not going to go out of my way yet. But once you get to the point where I'm struggling to get the food taken care of early on, we can deal with that then when we get there. And meanwhile, recreation. Because I'm going to be fighting a lot of mood breaks early on. The initial team is going to be a problem. So with this, let's drop down the speed. Cool. No fun allowed in the colony. Nope. Alright, so we're going to start doing our drawing from the poll. For those who haven't been in the channel before, what I do is I have a queue. You can sign up for the queue. Why is my brain struggling to do... Did I actually not pin that? I didn't pin that. We do actually have a thing where you can join the queue. Let me go ahead. You just do !join. So let me get that done. I should have posted a message that was, you know, about joining the queue. Alright, so you'll want to do !join if you want to be in the colony. Thank you. I will pin that. I was having problems finding the message. You won't get to like choose your pawn or whatever. It's literally going to be one where I go, this is that one, we're drawing this person. So this is RimWorld. Bad things are going to likely happen to you. So just as a heads up, if you're going to be someone who, you know, someone cheating on your character or murdering them or getting a drug addiction or all the other awful things that happen in this game happen to them, just you know, the whole beware, this is RimWorld. Okay, so one of the things I'm going to need to do really early on is production, small research bench. That needs to happen right away. And I keep hitting other buttons that I'm not used to anymore. So steel wall, that'll work. But yeah, because I need to get the passive cooler done as fast as possible. Because if we have a heat wave and I don't have the passive cooler taken care of by then we don't have a colony anymore. Okay, so we've got that farming spot. Looks like it's basically good. So we'll start getting some potatoes down. Yeah, because we got to hurry up on that just because tropical rainforest lot. RimWorld is definitely one of those games you'd rather watch than play. It looks so overwhelming. So it depends on your difficulty settings. We are on Strive to Survive, which is a harder difficulty. It's nowhere near the worst, but it's also, again, a harder difficulty. But you can play much easier difficulties and all that, so you can enjoy playing without all sweatiness that comes into RimWorld. Yeah, so you should be able to knock down that tree. They're just going through all of that, Yeah, and so we just gotta wait. I just need to not queue up more. The temptation to queue up more construction projects is real. So we definitely don't want to do that. Alright, so we're gonna have our first contestant for being named. We've got here a nice little brawler here. Really good at crafts and art. So, you know, you get your arts and crafts going on. That's pretty much what you do here. Currently suffering from ambrosia addiction. So actually you're one of our least going to melt down colonists. So we've got our first one on the queue that's going to be drawn, and that's going to be Sentient Cookie. And then our next contestant, who is an undergrounder, is going to hate existence because we're not underground. But you are a solid melee pawn who's going to be not melee. But you are a construction and mining person. You currently have alcohol addiction, ambrosia addiction, and psychite addiction. So... Oh, the up arrow's not working. That's annoying. And that's going to be Darth Strider. So welcome to the colony. And after that, we've got a body purist who is nimble, who I didn't realize is a body purist. I don't like body purists that much, but that's fine. We can work around that. I believe I made you the cook. Is that right? Yeah, so you'll be the colony's cook. And that is going to be a Q draw. Donkey Duff. Also, you have alcohol, ambrosia, psychite, and smoke leaf addiction. And after that, we have a beautiful colonist who is really good at making things dead. That's what you do here. You have a scar on your foot, alcohol addiction, ambrosia addiction, go juice addiction, and wake up addiction. So, you know, you're going to be in for an absolute thing. Yeah, no, I removed the capitalization on a lot of the stuff that reads from files because there's issues that you run into there. But yeah, that's on my side that happens. That's illicit NZ. And finally, for the moment, we've got our pacifist, who is our doctor, who is also helping out with plants and other good stuff. You have ambrosia addiction, psychite addiction, and wake-up addiction. And we're going to go ahead and... you draw... oh, yeah, no, it's going to be... alright, ignore that. That's a bug on my side. Unless there really is no one else in there. There we go. I still haven't fixed that because it doesn't come up very often now. Dragon Repairman... but I have a bug when it comes to drawing. It'll sometimes draw the empty line of text. That just gets on the top of the file. So, you're going to cook simple meals until we have 10. And you are going to burn drugs forever. You will not burn healing mech serum. You'll not burn these. You know, honestly, thematically, those serums probably should be on the list. But yeah, so we've got all of the actual drugs in here. Oh, don't burn that. Wait a second. No, burn that. I've switched that the wrong way. Okay. Yeah, so don't burn the mech serums. Don't burn the regular serums. We're probably never going to have those because we're not going to be doing a lot of the stuff. I'm not going to be making any ghouls, so we can go ahead and burn that one if we see it too. It's fine. We'll leave it alone. Just basically burn the drugs. All the drugs. Okay. Meanwhile, I need to go to assignments. We have drug policy, no drugs. Excellent. Manage food policies. We will want to go into here and do not eat kibble. I mean, it's not going to matter. You can't eat kibble. I do not eat baby formula. Do not allow food with human meat. Do not eat corpses. Alright, so with that, I should be able to allow all. And anyone who's got some craft skill or whatever should be able to start burning all of the drugs. Yeah. So pretty soon, my construction person should... yeah, so my construction person is starting to take apart all the buildings. And that will allow them to build the research bench. And then once we get the research bench, we're going to immediately focus on the passive cooler, which is why I've queued up nothing else for the moment. Because that passive cooler needs to be dealt with ASAP. Because as we get into the hotter time of the year, that's going to be a problem. Alright, so we have Donkey Duff and Illicit and Z. So we've got our crafter. It'll only be a short-term problem. Later on, that'll solve itself. Okay, so oh right, I'm not doing random research. I usually run random research, so I always have to like I don't have to queue up anything. So having the actual ability to queue up something throws me by surprise for a moment. All right, so we can go here. And we're gonna go ahead and make that corn. And get that starting to grow. We've got the basic crops that I needed early on. We will get heal root. That's fine. We can go to floors, remove floor. Because I'm going to keep that there, but I am going to peel up the floor so I can at least grow around as much as possible. Meanwhile, we'll let you keep doing your thing over there. I am going to need more rooms for all of this, because right now we just got everyone jammed in here. So, we'll make that the main entranceway for right now. We can add a little bit of a hallway here. Let's see, so we'll make it... We're gonna give them really nice rooms for the rehab. This is overkill. I realize this. But I'm thinking if we don't get ourselves as good of rooms as we can, people are gonna have problems. My intention is to have this this will probably become like our production room, and they'll put like a rec room back here, would be my guess. So I'm kind of going for a, I don't do it very often, usually I do a lot of individual rooms, but trying to go for like a facility for the whole thing. Just because I feel like I'm going to be able to manage problems more easily. One thing I'm also going to need, right now you can just chuck this in here. So haul whatever doesn't get burned in there. Harvest those. Been a long time since we had RimWorld. Feels like a lifetime for me. It's been a while. It has been within the last 90 days, but I don't think it's been much. Okay. So someone managed to... Oh, maybe you started with that? Yeah, because we are on the first day, so you may have started with the ambrosia. How are you... You've got rules... Oh, do you have some on you? That's the problem. Hey, every one of you... I see you keeping your secret stashes here. I'm on to you, friends. I was like, wait a second, how are they all getting high? We burned all the drugs. They all snuck one last hit. Fun, please? Absolutely. We're doing a run that thematically we're trying to rehab people. Yep. Yeah, we're trying to rehab people, so every one of our people have started with lots of addictions. And so I am expecting the colony to be like actively on fire for probably the entire first quadrant. Or yeah, whatever. The first season, everyone's going to be basically just struggling to function at all because all of them are going to be going through horrific withdrawal. It might even end up being a problem that because like consciousness levels, I could potentially see if someone has like 5 different addictions, that it could potentially be fatal for them for all of those withdrawal effects to stack. We might run into the problem where I have to kind of be like, okay, we're curing them of these 3 addictions and we're going to keep that addiction active long enough to get these 3 done to then work on the next one. I could potentially see that kind of thing happening. Alright, anyways, before everything goes sideways, sorry animals. Major break risk on Cookie because you used a drug. Because you were all sneaky and you did that when I wasn't looking. But we've solved the problem. Now we can go ahead and we'll put a torch lamp in here so that the person working can actually see. We're gonna have to get real used to that message being there. Go juice withdrawal. Excellent. Wake up withdrawal. Oh, they stack so badly too. I think up illicit is actually downed now. Illicit is no longer capable of moving on their own. Their withdrawals have kicked in. So illicit's gonna take a seasonal nap and require to be fed by others because too many addictions are knocking them out. At least you don't have to worry about illicit with the worst amount of addictions we've got right now being a problem person, since they're gonna basically sleep it off. For a month. You know, it is what it is. Major break risk on you. No surprising. I think the animals are going to end up... You know what? We won't kill the animals. We'll just let them wander and eventually some animal will kill them. It is a tropical rainforest map. Let's see. So we already have the heal root. We can put down the strawberries there. I'll still need Darkstrider to pull up that tile over here. Mad Chinchilla. It'll attack anyone nearby. Okay, well it's 2 against the Chinchilla because Darkstrider just got drowned because of drug problems. And Donkey Duff is moving real slow. Nicely done, Cookie. Meanwhile, we need to go to our assignments. Not assignments, we can go here, health. We want to change the defaults down to regular medicine. Go here, we can go to our assignments and go... Wait, what's assignments? Yeah, it's over here. Get those all set so that we don't waste good medicine on that. Alright, Dragon Repairman is going to try desperately to bandage up Cookie while also suffering horrific withdrawal. So currently they are moving, or at manipulation of 45%. You like the stone around the fire? It was an entire accident. So, Darkstrider is probably going to be down for the count until their addictions run out. Same with Illicit and Z. Okay, that's Donkey Duff downed due to their addictions. This is starting to get very concerning that I may have made a egregious error. So you are planting, so that's fine. Luckily, our planting doctor person. I need Sentient Cookie to not go down. I don't think you will. I think Sentient Cookie will be alright. Because I need at least one person capable of fighting. But the good news here is that means I got 3 people who won't be having any mood breaks because they'll be unconscious. I don't have a butchering spot. Oh, Darkstar's not gonna be able to build one, so we're just gonna have to do this one. And 3 people aren't doing anything for 8 points. Well, I mean, at this early in the game, it shouldn't matter too much. Poor Dragon Repairman's got to carry this colony work-wise. Or not. There goes Dragon Repairman. They're now down due to being that. Hey, Cookie. Have you ever wanted to run the entire colony by yourself? Because you know what you're doing right now? You're doing everything. And the problem I'm going to run into with that is I do need to get things sort out. Oh, you'll also need to be a doctor for the time being. And Doppelganger on their 10 stream streak. Catch the last 10 streams without missing a single one. So thank you so much for that continued hanging out, viewership, support, all the good stuff. Alright, so yeah, these animals are dying. They're just gonna have to. Because if they're eating any of my food, Cookie is gonna try and hold this whole thing up anyways. They're made out of food. Cookie's just gonna be trying desperately to keep everything from collapsing. While also not being particularly happy themselves. The only saving grace for poor Cookie... Did you get more drugs in your inventory? Because also I think now's a good time to deal with the penalty from Bonded. Just because they're all unconscious. So they can get over it while they're unconscious. I'm trying my best. Okay. Let's not worry about that field for right now. You just try and keep things moving. Okay, so we still have a little teeny tiny bit of food in here. I still have to push hard on that passive cooler because are they eating raw food? I've got one colonist to work with. We're gonna be doing a lot of things suboptimally. And honestly, with as terrible as they are cooking, there is a good chance if I cook it, it's just gonna result in food poisoning. Alright. Since it looks like they'll be here for a while, Dragon Repairman thinks we should give your faction a name. What should the faction be called? And also, we should have the settlement name. I mean, definitely we need to have something for the settlement around rehab. Like, we're gonna try and be allies with everyone by feeding everyone. Only food will be allowed to use to boost relationships, and we're gonna try and ally everyone, which will probably be our win objective for the run, is if we manage to get everyone to allied by feeding them, we'll call that the win condition. We can also still launch the ship or whatever. But, like, that'll be the success of the run. And we're gonna try and rehab as many people as we can. Which actually, I'll definitely want to get a rehab counter going before we get too far as well. Hey, Tenma, how's it going? So that's I'm blanking on what we should call it. I could definitely feel like the name needs to be rehab. Good to see you playing RimWorld again? Yeah, no, playing a little bit of RimWorld to get ourselves ready for that. Jungle Springs Medical Recovery Center. How about we amend that and go Jungle Springs Rehab Center. Healing Farms. Kickin' the Habit. The trendiest rehab center. No, I gotta do it this. Kick in the habit. Rehab Resort. Sure. And then meanwhile, we're trying to like unite all of the colonies, because like everyone's angry at us. We set them all to be hostile to us, but they are all capable of able to be friended. But we are making a rule that we're only friending them with food. This would be an even bigger nightmare with hospitality. Oh man, that's That's actually worth something to explore at some point. Having the hospitality mod, but everyone has addictions. The thing is, I don't think I can get the drugs off the people who visit with addictions, so they'll just take their drugs. I don't think I can prevent that. We might be able to go into like the scenario editor and scenario edit them to not ever have drugs on them. But yeah, that would have to be a different run though, because that would break the farm side of it. There. Fun, please. It's just, that's fine. I didn't know what to name them. So we are the faction of the Fun Police, and we are at, I've already lost the name. It was something Springs. Jungle Springs? No, it was Kicking the Habit. That's right. We did Kicking the Habit Rehab Resort. I love how you watch so many people play this, but have never actually played this. Yeah, that happens. You're so bad at cooking. People are going to starve while you're trying to cook that rice. An alpaca decided it wanted to be food. I'm gonna put handling you as a 2. I want you to run right over there and deal with it. I want you to focus on eating and all that stuff. Cookie themselves are going to have a mood break trying to cook their food. And here comes food poisoning. You got lucky. Cooked the food, immediately feeds every last bit of food to the others. And then we run out of food. We grab a couple units of rice, and we start the process again. You just gotta hang in there, Cookie. You're only trying to feed 5 people by yourself without having skills in either cooking. Actually, do you have skill in cooking? Yeah, without skills in cooking or farming. And none of the highest one so far is breaking any of their addictions is at 55%. Oh, that's gonna be terrible. And all of those are ambrosia addiction. The real hard addictions that are ones that keeping them knocked out, which is the go juice and the wake up and that. Those are only in like the teens to 30s. I do not look forward to Cookie trying to hold the ground by themselves against any meaningful threat. And then it's basically a naked brutality run with a higher food consumption rate now. Getting practice in so they don't food poisoning themselves seems about right. The interesting thing is if I recognize food has food poisoning, I could deliberately have Cookie not eat that food and eat something else and then give it to everybody else. Because sure, they're just going to throw up and make a mess and need to be fed again, but it'll give them some nutrition in the meantime. It's better than not eating. What are they going to do? Have a mood break? Alright, we will go back to your assignments, because I'll put Cookie back onto handling, so that way they grab that alpaca. So you know what's getting done in this colony for the next 4 or 5 in-game days while everyone gets over their drug addictions? Abso-freaking-lutely nothing. Cookie is going to be desperately trying to keep this whole thing from burning down around them. And having no free time to do anything. If we get hit with a heat wave, the colony's just dead. Then we learned that food poisoning reduces consciousness enough to kill them. That is one of those things I'm trying to keep an eye on. The consciousness is, I think we got 26 here. We might... We might need to keep a an eye on Illicit here. Very genuinely, Illicit could die from their consciousness getting too low. I'm intervening to make you feed the one who's starving. Oh, don't worry about cheering people up. There's no time for that. You gotta just keep the food going, man. Literally, that's the only thing you'll be working on, is just trying to keep the food up. What dangerous animals do we have? I haven't looked. Oh, we actually have no... Okay, I was expecting to see, like, panthers and all that. Usually when I do the, refueling campfire, don't do that yet. Prioritize butchering it first, since you're already over there. Then refuel the campfire. That way, at worst case, we can feed people raw food. So the good news with Cookie is Cookie only has an ambrosia addiction, and ambrosia is the one of the mildest addictions you can get in the game. Like, you'll notice there's literally no negative impact on any of their stats. So Cookie shouldn't go down. Of the addictions around, that's about the best we can hope for. Meanwhile, the problem we have with everyone else is they've got 2-3 stacking addictions. I'm genuinely worried we're gonna have to go out of our way to give Illicit and Z some kind of drug to deal with this. That is, don't be a Neanderthal. Okay. Oh, you are really good at melee. So, realistically, what I would want to do is set up a trap as fast as I can. Build that right now. If you don't finish it, we're probably dead. No, stop. Construction too low. Never mind. Kite him until he passes out from withdrawal. I think that's gonna take too long. That might be what ends up happening, though. Yeah, you've got no penalties whatsoever. I need Cookie, I need you to get that fast. Actually, change of plan. Eat the rice right now. I need you to eat. Yeah, so what we did is we quickly snuck a meal in here real fast. Yep, follow Cookie. That's right. Okay, you're on Cookie. That was the big thing, was to get him to chase Cookie versus kidnapping anyone. You shouldn't be faster than me. How are you catching up? How are you catching up? You have dependencies and all that. He's just flat out catching up to Cookie. Even though they both have the same movement speed. They're both baseliners. We're just gonna have to fight it, unfortunately. Now you try and drag it out as long as possible. And hope we start... That's fine. I'm trying to delay it as long as possible. Because we ate right before we arrived. They did not. That's it. They're... I should have turned around already. Alright. Brawler, get those benefits in. Equa, do your magic. He's got way more melee than you. That's it, rip colony. Unless he goes down. Oh, he might go down, but Cookie, you know what? We might be okay. If he goes down before he reaches the edge of the map, which he might because he has 4 hours, we might actually be okay. Cookie just needs to get back up, get over your pain, man. Get over your pain, you're fine. Walk it off. Cookie's back up. It's fine. Everything is gonna be okay. Who is starving? So illicit NZ. So you're not doing anything yet. Prioritize feeding illicit NZ. Now Darstrider. Oh, I need you to have self-tend on. Never mind, Colony's dead again. We had an extreme break of catatonic. And as such, Cookie collapsed, and now everyone's going to starve to death. After actually getting through that, catatonic is what's going to do it. Like, even if he would have gone and, like, if he would have destroyed stuff, he would have just raged out. People have gone pretty bad. So those ones aren't going to be able to get up in time before starvation takes them. Yeah, they're nowhere near getting back up at all. And catatonic has, I want to say catatonic has a minimum length of a couple of days. You know, barring you could do stuff to do it. So, yep, that is a dead run right at the beginning. That's pretty ridiculous. Oh no, I usually disable Man in Black. I don't like the Man in Black event. My colony needs to live and die on its own. Alright, so let's be fast. That's the reason we saved the addiction. Next. Strive to survive commitment mode. Next. 100%. Clear out all of these. And go fierce. Fierce. You'll add 2 Neanderthal and then just a bunch of the other fierce tribes. So that way everyone hates us at the beginning. Cool. We've got global coverage maxed out. There we go. Maybe don't take somebody's starting addictions. Well, that's the thing. We're going to get stuck with a lot of starting addictions. That's going to be the whole thing about this run. You think rough unions start hostile? Oh, probably. Yeah, that's fine. Like I said, I'm not expecting the things attacking me to actually be what does our colony in. I'm expecting our colony to be 100% self-inflicted suffering. Because even if we start getting people clean, every time we bring someone in, they're a huge liability. Alright, so let's do this again. Where, let's see if we can't find a tropical rainforest. That's an interesting one, having it on the corner like that. It's like an interesting one right there. The river's going to be a problem for a lot of reasons, which is the only reason I'm hesitant. Especially nowadays where they've changed it so that the mechs can pop out of the river. It makes rivers really scary. That's Boreal, so we got tropical rainforest down here. You almost always turn off the Neanderthals because you hate their gimmick. Neanderthals aren't as big a deal to me. I actually feel relatively fine about Neanderthals. They're certainly a dangerous enemy. Honestly, the ones that give me more grief is the Impids. Well, that would be a fun map, but utterly useless for this particular goal. So we're gonna go ahead and choose this tile, I think. Create fluid, ideological. I'm just trying to set up the exact same thing we did a moment ago as fast as we can. We already have that set. Add precept. Drug use prohibited. I'm going to just leave that to free so I don't have to deal with the drama of that. I need to get rid of these real quick. And I just need to make sure that these don't give standings with nearby factions. Psi-focus recharge. Random recruit. That's fine. And we venerate cobras. I'm going to end up hating that. Next. Alright, so let's go here. Make sure we don't have anyone with no addictions listed. Okay. So, we are on... That is a terrible pawn. Yeah, mostly just going through... and trying to get a couple of these ones. Alright, so we've got nothing that's truly horrific. I don't have doctor, though. We do have a researcher. So is there something I do have a lot of overlap? Oh, and also check you, make sure you all have addictions. Okay. So. You can be a cook. You can be plants. You're likely to be the one we re-roll to try and get a doctor. You're construction and mining. You're crafting and construction and research. So yeah, so I think our social one's the one who's getting the reroll. We're gonna need a doctor. We are on a tile with a lot of disease. So you're actually a pretty good all-arounder pawn anyways, and you've got the medical. So can't do plants, but can sub in for cooking, can sub in for crafting and medical. I think that's good. Everyone here has addiction. Normally I don't take a bunch of scars, but honestly, with what we're dealing with, I'm gonna take them and just live with it. No, you're all good. What was banned? Let's see. Oh yeah, no, it replaces that. It doesn't say banned, it just replaces it. Alright. Yeah, that's the thing. I can fix that later, but I just don't want to go back and reload everything. So we got everything represented. That should be fine. So we do have them. Do we need to rejoin the queue? If you got drawn in the last one, you'll need to rejoin. If you joined the last one, if you joined the queue but you didn't get drawn, you're fine. So it's just like Dragon Repairman, Illicit NZ, and the handful of others that got drawn. Darkstrider also got drawn. Okay, so same thing. We have an Ancient Danger up there. We have just the one Ancient Danger up there from the looks of it. We're along this road. We do not have any particularly impressive growing area, so we'll just grow wherever. I don't really intend on doing the anomaly stuff. Oh, do I not? Oh yeah, Temple's way down there, so we're definitely not mess with that. Yeah, so I think in this particular case, it kind of doesn't matter where we build. So we are going to go in here again and go to schedule, recreation. Put at the end of the day just to have lots of recreation, because we're just going to need that to function. Work-wise, get into all of these that have the checkboxes. We're going to set those, then start fixing people's stuff. To get everyone up and running. Alright, so you are going to be my cook. You'll have lower priorities for that. You are going to be my farmer. You're going to be my construction person. You can help construct, but you're going to primarily be my researcher. And you are going to be my dedicated crafter. And I think we got ourselves a nice balance there. Hey, Alana, how's it going? Can I get a shout out for Alana Rama if we got any one of the mods handy to be able to take care of that? All right, so we don't have any. Yeah, we got no night people. We don't have any brawlers or anything like that in this one. Do we have anyone? Like, basically, let's find our best shots. Probably make you be our melee pawn right now. So you grab that. You go ahead and grab the knife. You can grab the Equa, wherever that's, or the not the Equa, the Pila. You can grab these. And grab the one who has the legendary hood and all that. Okay, and now we go orders. Allow everything. Hey, Sherry Kind! Thank you so much for the raid. Oh, sorry, I'm misreading that. Thank you, Mortal Smurf. You're the one who raided. I saw the raid message, and then I saw someone I know streams, and my brain just mushed those together. But thank you, Mortal Smurf, so much for the raid. I really do appreciate it. I do hope you had yourself a good stream and all that. And I know I saw you playing RimWorld, and I remember, I think it was fairly modless run, and I don't remember what you were doing in it, though. Because I did take a peek over at what's going on. But welcome in, Raiders. For those who don't know, Mortal Smurf, absolutely fantastic content creator on the platform. Right, the all-ending speedrun, which is always a ridiculous one. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. We're just starting, by the way. We may have died in our challenge run here just a minute ago. But yeah, no, definitely check out Mortal Smurf. Absolutely an incredibly skilled player at RimWorld. Been doing all challenge speed runs where it literally goes through every single one of the endings, or sorry, all ending speed run, going through all of the endings back to back to back, many of them overlapping. So definitely a fantastic content creator. Also going to be in the RimWorld Hot Potato as well as Alanorama. Did we get a shout out for Alanorama as well? I saw Mortal Smurfs out there, just making sure we also got Alanorama. Because they're both fantastic people who play a lot of RimWorld. Yeah, I gotta wait 55 seconds so I give our shout out. But yeah, he does love the Huntsmans, don't forget that. But yeah, no, definitely good times. We're trying a new challenge that I haven't done before, like, it's probably not an original idea. We have gone into the world settings and set every single addiction to have a 35% chance happening to everyone. And it is just one of those things that, Cookie, delete the message, raid message. But, we are doing it where every single person has a 35% chance of having, you know, any given addiction. So when you look at our characters, they're not great. No problem, Mortal Smurf. You have a good one. Thank you again for that raid. I really do appreciate it. Everyone has a rough time. Now, one of the catches you run into this is we are trying to cure all the addictions and get as many people sorted out as well. On top of that, because we've been doing Farm Sim a lot, we have made all of the colonists, all of the different factions hostile to us, but ones that we can befriend. But we can only befriend them by feeding them, by shipping large amounts of food to them. And that's just kind of one of those things that we're trying to do. And all set. You saw everyone down? Was that the first attempt? Yes. So the first attempt, 4 of our colonists went down due to drug withdrawal. And then the last colonist went catatonic. After having a melee fight where they managed to beat someone who had like 8 level of melee on them in a melee fight, and they got downed, but the other one collapsed trying to kidnap them, they crawled away and got back up. And then just went catatonic. I was like, dang it. I was like, gutties. For those who don't know Lanorama, absolutely fantastic content creator. 100% recommend. Also plays a lot of RimWorld among a bunch of other games. Fellow member of the Halcyon Frequency stream team, and also going to be in the RimWorld Hot Potato in the next couple of days. So definitely if you're into RimWorld, which I assume if you're here, you probably are. So what's going to happen with this one is you might not get down from your drug addictions. You'll be fine. You probably will get downed. You'll be okay, and you are absolutely without question going to be downed. All right, so it looks like we're going to have 2, maybe 3 people get downed as their withdrawal kicks in. You post this schedule. Yeah, I have the RimWorld Hot Potato schedule in Discord. For those trying to find that. But we are just starting out. I've been getting work assignments and all that set up. And we're trying to get all that going. I do have a queue. If you do !join, you can have your name put in the queue. You don't get to choose who you get or anything like that. It is just one of those things that I will, you know, I will like just go, all right, we're drawing for this pawn, and you'll get it. As a reminder, this is RimWorld. There is no happiness here. Bad things are going to happen to you. So if you put your name in, you're like, I'm upset, my pawn got hurt. This is RimWorld. There is no happiness here. Just, that is what it is. All right, so go melee attack that. You go melee attack this. So that way we can get this cleared up. I've forgotten how, let's see. You've forgotten how heavily modded UI looks. Been years since you played 100 mods? No happiness? Let's see. You have a planet weather event, psychic rain in your vanilla expander run. Yeesh. Yeah, nuts. I run very, very light on mods. The only mods that we have that are affecting gameplay is we do have the no research mod, where I started with no research to begin with. And we have the geological landforms mod, which can change starting tiles. But we're not on a geological landform map right now, so that doesn't really matter. So for the moment, I'm just going to work on trying to clear up some space, get ourselves this. Normally I don't. Oh, you have lots more health than I gave you credit for. Team up on that. Oh, I guess it's fine. But yeah. You gotta have your quality of life mods. Minimal, there are 100 about those. I do have quality of life UI kind of mod stuff. But honestly, since Anomaly came around, I haven't nearly felt the need for as many quality of life mods as I used to. Like, it used to be one of those things that I was running probably like 20-something quality of life mods. But these days, there's certainly still nice stuff to have, but I feel like they're way less necessary than they used to be. We will want to go and very, very immediately at the beginning get a research bench up. And that's because I am running no research, which means I can't even make a passive cooler. So if we do run into the situation where we get a heat wave right at the beginning, our colony dies. So we don't want that. Oh, I also need to go through and fix assignments. So assignments, everyone's on a no drug policy, and I got fooled last time by this, that they all pocketed some drugs at the beginning, and that ended up being a problem. So drop all your drugs. This is a no drug colony. We are doing this whole like rehab thing. So I'm gonna build a fire out here. Know that? Yeah, and that was the thing. It's like I burned all the drugs, and then I had a bunch of people who had like, you know, it's like, is warm with, you know, ambrosia, and I'm like, wait, how are you high on ambrosia? Where are you getting this ambrosia from? We burned it all, and then realized they all had it in their pockets. Let's see. Oh, you use several mods to make prisoners almost useful as slaves? Yeah, no, that's fine. Like, everyone can play however they want. For me personally, I have an absolutely I will never do slave stuff in my runs. It's just not a mechanic I enjoy. It's not something I want to... Like, I realize it's RimWorld. It's a video game. I understand. But even, like, simulating it's just like, nah. Nah, this doesn't interest me. But yeah, so for me, the prisoners, I like the vanilla game. I find most of the time when I run mods, you'll have the mods like, don't worry, I've added a new range of weapons. They're balanced to be in line with original, you know, vanilla RimWorld. And then you look at the stats and it's like, okay, it's got a faster fire rate than any gun in the game. It's got near sniper rifle range with near sniper rifle precision, and their balance is it costs one more component to make than the normal weapons. And you're like, uh-huh. Balanced. Alright, so let's go through here. Don't burn that, don't burn that, don't burn this. Don't burn the serums or that. Don't burn Mech Resurrection Serum. Okay, so burn all the drugs, since we are trying to do, like, a rehab thing. So all the drugs must go. We are going to have a lot of people go unconscious. Even the Lucy? Yeah. The whole idea behind this colony is we are rehabbing as many people as we can. And on top of that, we are also going to be we've made every single faction hostile to us. And we are then, you know, going to use only and exclusively food to try and befriend everyone. So we won't be doing missions to them to get their reputation up. And that's because we've been doing a lot of farming simulator recently, so it's kind of thematically going along with that. I need to remember I'm not running the random research mod, so I actually need to assign someone to do that. Quick wall torch for light in that room. What animals did we get this time? They're all probably gonna die. Any dangerous animals? So last time we did the same tile and I had no dangerous animals. This time we got 3 panthers, which checks out. Alright. We're trying to get that initial food set up. That's totally fine. We've got a little bit of medicine. We will go and do a little bit of a compound build on this one. Yeah. But yeah, so it's one of those things when I play RimWorld. It's not that I never do runs where we do awful and evil things. We absolutely do that from the rare occasion. But generally speaking, when you see me playing RimWorld, most of the time, I play it as if we are reasonable and rational people in a not-so-great situation. So I don't turn to immediately cannibalizing everything around us. I don't hack all the limbs off to people and turn them into blood bags, typically. Like, if I do a Sanguiphage run, obviously I'm going to do what I gotta do to play the game. And thanks, Sextuple Negative, for the 35 stream streak. I really do appreciate that. Catch the last 35 streams without miss a single one, so thank you so much for that. You play like a Canadian? Oh no, I don't apologize to him. Well, you'll kill those dogs and eat them? Well, yeah, they're not people. No, it's because very genuinely, a lot of times, the animals you start with are just, they're not useful. And it's just annoying to deal with, because ultimately what's going to happen is a panther's going to decide they look good, run into my colony and kill the dog. And that'll be way later on. And then I gotta deal with a panther, and that's not that big a deal. But it's very inconvenient. And so for me, while you're in the early game and you've got like no penalties to mood, you got like this giant mood bonus here from low expectations, that I just go ahead and get rid of things that I know are going to cause a mood penalty for me later, while it's not a problem. Okay, meanwhile I can go to production. I'm just going to make a butcher spot for right now. Set that to butcher all those. Okay. We should have someone assigned to research. Yeah, that would be, Cam here. But what is going to happen is we're going to start naming our people. Let me go ahead and snooze that for a couple of minutes. Because in about 10 minutes, I'm going to have to step away for about 5 minutes. It's the one break you usually take during the stream. It's like a, 5-minute break. My wife gets home, I welcome her home, grab some food real fast, that kind of thing. Yeah, and if you do exclamation mark join, you can get in the queue. I am going to start drawing people here in a moment. So the first person we've got here is going to be, did the last colony die? Yes. The last colony died because 4 people got downed by their withdrawal, and then our last person, got downed in a raid, managed to do enough damage, though, that the guy tried to kidnap them, and then collapsed trying to do that. Got back up, and then went catatonic. So, literally, if we had any mood break other than catatonic, it probably would have been fine. But we got catatonic, at which point everyone was laying down, and everyone was going to starve to death long before that resolved itself. Okay, so let's go in here and start naming people. So we got an undergrounder, who is not going to be happy about existence. Who is a quick sleeper. You are good at construction and mining. You are also addicted to alcohol and go juice. So let's go ahead and do our... Wait, I have a button on my thing for this. Why am I typing stuff down? So we got Lanix. As I put in all the wrong letters, just don't mind me. And our next contestant is a psychically hypersensitive, fast learner who's incapable of dumb labor, who can do construction, cooking, and crafting. And you have ambrosia addiction. So we're going to go ahead and do that one. And that is going to be doppelganger. You always put Quick Sleeper on anything for their full schedule. Yeah, Quick Sleeper is really good. Then we got our next contestant, who is another undergrounder. You're good at fighting, cooking, crafting, and medical. You have addictions to smoke leaf, psychite, and ambrosia. So you're probably going to pass out here once your addictions start going withdrawal. That queue is not actually empty. That is a bug with my thing that does this. I need to fix it. I've needed to fix it for a long time, but then I forget about it, and then it doesn't get fixed. And you know how that goes. So we got Itchy Tenma. And after that, we've got someone who is kind. They're really good at combat and planting. And has just an alcohol addiction. So you'll probably just be crabby, but you should be okay. Did my button not work? There we go. And that's sextuple negative. And finally, we've got our psychically sensitive ironed will, who's incapable of caring, who is really good at cooking, alright at animals, decent at fighting, who has go juice, psychite, and alcohol addiction. You are 100% without question going down when those withdrawals kick in. So you're gonna spend the second half of the first season on the ground. So that'll be, is that Zaxelbrax? And welcome to the colony. I also need to go to our assignments, medicine, do this, go through there, so everyone doesn't start burning Glitter World for no reason. Go to you, change defaults to not use Glitter World. Go to our assignments here, go to our food policies, lavish. Do not eat corpses, do not eat baby food, do not eat kibble, and I'll let them eat raw food for now. Eventually we'll say do not eat raw food. And I think we've got all our assignments good for the moment. We've got all of those planted already, which is honestly surprising. So go over here and get some corn. And I am over planting. I do this pretty much every time. But it's just one of those things that I find to be a bit of a negative at the beginning. And something I don't have to worry about later. We'll get the heel root. So we have the cotton, the heel root, 4 different crops of food. What else do we need to throw in here? So we've got all our plants. We're not doing any drugs in this one. In this particular case, I'm going to shrink that field. Actually, let's just get rid of the field. What I'm going to do is make a really small field for the dye, because I really don't need much of it. And even though I'm not going to need most of those plants for a while, we've got them all set up. Alright. And we're getting pretty good progress towards getting our passive cooler researched, which is good. Pretty soon we're also going to run out of food. You know, until we get our first initial crops in. So we'll say to harvest those. And then this is the point that, unfortunately, our animals, they're going to do nothing but eat our food, and do little to nothing of, any productivity, so I'm getting rid of them. If someone has a Lucy addiction, do we try to rehab them? Or do we have a mod that enables survival withdrawal from rehab, Lucy? We don't. I didn't have a plan for this to be what we were doing for the stream for RimWorld. I just figured we are going to be playing RimWorld because I'm trying to... It's been like a little while since I played RimWorld, so I'm a bit rusty. So I wanted to go ahead and, play a little bit before my segment of the hot potato, because I am in the latter... Like, I'm one of, the last 5 or 6 people on the hot potato this year, where normally I'm, on the first third, so I'm like, okay, where normally I'm dealing with a pretty low wealth colony, pretty early game, that I mostly just got to keep everything together, which is not too bad to do. Now we're looking at a very late game colony during the hot potato, which is going to have, 30-something people who have all had different design strategies building the colony, probably entirely too much wealth for where you're at in the game, and that kind of thing. So I need to get myself a bit warmed up, because there's probably going to be a little bit of work to be done there. We'll definitely want to get possibly more research benches and that kind of stuff going on. For right now, I'm not going to worry about it. So we got our first person looking at a mood break because they are hungry. Do we not have anyone in handling? Oh, you got down to your drug withdrawal. Okay, so what were you doing again? Alright, so you were our cook. That's fine, because that means Itchy Tenma should take over that. I don't have you set up for cooking, do I? Well, that's one problem. Alright, so Itchy Tenma, we're gonna go ahead and give you another responsibility of you're gonna handle the animals for right now, because people are starving. Stop moving at all, dog. Itchy Tenma is really struggling because of all their drug withdrawals. Alright. Let's see, so feeding Lucy people with Lucy, the Lucy and utterly chaotic late game colony. What could go wrong? Yeah, so we're gonna have problems with a lot of that. So I need you to deal with that. Yeah, so Itchy Tenma's probably going down when all those addictions start to pop in. Alright, that was Tomb definitely getting home real fast. Tomb's my wife. So like I said, what is going to end up happening here in about 2 minutes, we're going to end up having our ad break. A tantrum, that's fine. Go banging some walls. Honestly, for what we're dealing with, that's something we get used to. Automatically repair anything in our home zone. But what will happen is I will have about a 5-minute break that'll happen during the ad break. It's just unfortunate timing. But it is just one of those things that my wife gets home around this time. And so we figure out dinner real fast, I welcome her home, and that's like my one break during the stream. I do stream for 9 hours, this is relatively close to the beginning, it's about 2 hours in. Alright, so Lanix is now downed due to drug withdrawal. So that was our construction person. That's fine, we can live without that for a hot minute. Itchy Tenma hates everything about existence, which tracks pretty much with the way things are right now. Itchy Tenma has now run wild. That is actually pretty bad. Okay, so we still have our growing person, and we still have someone capable of cooking. So what did you do in our colony that we just lost? You were our kind of jack of all trades who was our doctor. So our doctor ran wild. I will choose to try to tame them, but no one can. So, great. It's just like, man, this game's calling you on a big way. Yep, but this is pretty much the way we expected the beginning to go. We are dealing with people having stacks of withdrawals going on. So it is going to be the first challenge of this run is to just get over that initial hump of everyone melting down from withdrawals. Maybe you can arrest them. I believe you still have to tame them when you arrest them if they run wild. And right now, I'm just going to let them do whatever. For the moment, we're just going to let them sit there and run around the map and do whatever they feel like. We've got 2 people downed, one having a break, and one is just trying to keep it together. We are going to need to do the same thing we did with Cookie last time, which is I'm going to need to prioritize... But you're probably going to have your break here soon. Yeah, because starvation's starting to set in, so you need to just manually have to deal with some growing real quick. I really wanted to keep you on that research. But we're going to have you chip in here real fast. Just until we start getting our first plants up. Alright, with that said, chat, this is a moment we're about to have the ad break, so I am going to take a quick break here real fast to welcome my wife home and all that. So thank you so much for everyone who's been hanging out. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. This is my longest break of the stream, so we'll get that out of the way. But thank you again for tuning in, and I'll be back here in just a few. Getting one of the things that really makes it easier to pick up trees. That's not what I want. I knew that was coming the moment that happened. First shot was a complete dud. Here goes the anti-grain. Target sighted and target dealt. Oh, this is gonna be a fiasco. Yep, I cannot make out at all who is winning that fight or what's happening with any of that. So, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh! What? Retreat back here? We're probably dead here. Reverse kill box, question mark? No, because they're just gonna come in from the side. I do not have a good position to do anything. I didn't even see them drop over here. That is so many. And they are all rocking guns. Well, at least we did enough damage, it's gonna die. No, 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 no. What have you done? Why would you punch a warhead? You're alive. It's amazing that you are alive, but you are in fact alive. Literally everything in Storge just got exploded. Okay, so what happens if instead of going from the tree to lumber mill, we take the lumber mill to the tree? It works. It does work. If I just walk through it, does it work it? Okay. Stop. Why is it pitch black? What am I supposed to do? The whole thing just went pitch black instantly. I can see nothing. Storge. Walter's asking me questions about my coffee bean dealer. I'm not telling.
Raj is hot.
Raj is hot.
It is good for Raj.
Yes, good for Raj indeed. I love you.
I love you.
Too much is like, Raj is hot. Good for Raj. Raj is like, I know. I am dapper AF. But I'm not telling. I know what he... Okay, hang on. Hang on. Little too ambitious with that jump. Yep, let's, take a minor detour. Alright, so it is 5 below now. And then continuing to go down. It should be flipping at some point, because it's 210.8 was the flip point. Oh, there we go. Steam is down to 5 kilograms. It's cooling down much more rapidly now. It's actually fluctuating wildly. The fanfare. The fanfare for sploosh. 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 Alright. Would you go away? I'm trying to commit crime. I'm about to go... Up, everything has stopped moving. What have we done? It's going to be an emerald eruption. Look at them continuing to expand frame by frame. They're continuing to launch into space. Oh god, what is this? Why? I have a frame. I have individual frame. Look at the height those things got. Just let it settle down. Okay. Surprisingly, didn't instantly go slideshow again. I need to not be holding the button if I do that. But yeah, so it is. Why did I go to the moon? I don't understand. Why? I think I found a bug in the physics engine. What do you think, chat? I'm not sure what I hit, but I didn't just slam into the roof and get stuck here. Like we kind of glided up here. I have to find out. Get more involved. I don't want to be here. I missed. Alright, sorry about that. Took a little bit longer than I thought. They're like that duck thing. Oh yeah, Rosh is hot, yeah. I'm assuming that clip came by. Yeah, oh yeah, so we had the punch the warhead thing. Normally I don't keep the anti-grain warheads in my main storage. I don't remember what happened with that one. It's like that's way back early on in the channel. That we ended up having the situation that I got a anti-grain warhead. I think there's a raid or something going on. And, you know, I was dealing with that. Totally forgot about the anti-grain warhead. Because, like, I was nowhere near ready to use it or anything. And then, you know, you hear the kick or whatever, and that hiss, and it's like, you already know what just happened. Because you're like, oh, there was an anti-grain warhead I got at some point. And, the person having a mood break just found it. Which, surprisingly, that ended up killing, like, half the colony and destroying all of my stuff. And yet, the person who kicked it was, like, one of the only survivors. It was a whole big thing. Yeah, no, I get why they do it. It was just one of those things I totally forgot we had the anti-grain warhead. So, that was all bad news. Did you not beat Lanix? Okay. That's not great. Where do we got some more stuff you can harvest? Itchy Tenma's just running around, harvesting everything before I could get at. Impromptu 2x1 prison? No, like right now, Itchy Tenma could just deal with their stuff and work through their withdrawal, and I don't have to deal with mood breaks or anything. Oh, you're not assigned to doctoring, that'll do it. Alright. So, if we lose Itchy Tenma, that is what it is. Like, we're just in the riding out this initial wave of addictions and all that. And then trying to make that work from there. Trying to, like, min-max getting everyone taken care of or whatever is not gonna get me anywhere. Because as you can see, I'm having to run around and just pull up plants and run them back and forth. Where else do we have bushes that we can harvest? Those have already been harvested. Those are harvested. Alright. But yeah, normally I like to do really kind of weird challenges. So I like a challenge I do where I max out the pollution on a map. I'm not allowed to take anyone who's immune to pollution, stuff like that. Okay, so you're already feeding people. Sextuple negative, I need you to stop throwing a fit, my friend. Sextuple's like, no. Yes, like we'll probably repeat the name we had in the last one, which I'm trying to remember. It was I think it was like Kick in the Habit, like Rehab Resort or whatever. Okay, so we've got our first rate, or first anything, which is unfortunately going to be Doppelganger fighting a monkey by themselves. So that's just the way this is all going down. Because everyone else is either down or on a mood break. So it's just going to be a straight up fight. And one and done. Nicely done. I couldn't have asked for that to go better. Literally could not have asked that to go better. We just did the movement to try and guarantee ourselves the first hit. And luckily we just popped it instantly. What is your melee skill? It's not that high either. Alright. So this will probably start smoothing out once we get our rice up. But at the moment, with sextuple negative being split between so much, or sorry, not sextuple, doppelganger being split between so much, there's just stuff not getting done. Alright, do we have more berries you can snag here? We are... Like, one of the few benefits of being where we are, I could at least snag those while we wait for these to grow. And if you didn't figure it out, we are in tropical rainforest. So, that's what's got going on here. We're just trying to feed people to keep people from being starving and hitting malnutrition and all that. But fortunately, having Itchy Tenma run wild is a pretty big one. Okay, so you're at least back up. You're still dealing with some pretty severe alcohol withdrawal. At least we'll keep getting that going. Alright, where do we got some more berries to go? Because unfortunately the berries are not great for our food situation. They help, but it's just not much. Alright. Prioritize you to do all those real quick. So I can hopefully get the medicine or stuff for that. Okay, so we're gonna say and do probably the same names we did last time just because it'll be fast. So Fun Police is what we did last time. And we did for the settlement, we called it Kick in the Habit Rehab Resort. Make it sound better than, you know, just being in rehab. Even though there's just... It's rehab, man. Alright, so you're feeding everyone. Hey, Snowball, how's it going? So we've got temporarily everyone sorted for the, that. Let's go ahead and get you back to not being the one responsible for growing for a moment. Because I do need that research to keep happening. Because we are doing no research, which means when we did start this map, if we get a heat wave and I don't get that passive cooler done, just people die. That's just the way it goes. People will die. And I need to kind of carry this for a little while. What's the queue for? If you want to have a colonist named after you. As we get colonists, we'll just roll to see who we get to bring in. Alright, so good news, we're about to get our passive cooler. That'll be kind of one of the first major milestones. So things we'll want is we'll probably want to get the passive cooler, the complex furniture, and the complex clothing as some of my earlier stuff. And I am deliberately not bothering to queue up any more construction. Right now, until people get through some of these withdrawals, we're not going to be getting a whole lot done around here. The good news, it seems like that the Ambrosian withdrawal is going to be going away pretty quick. Yeah, those two are going to be down for a while. Alright, so we got passive cooler. We'll go for complex clothing next, I think. Alright, so let's stop sowing these fields for a moment. Just go get berries. Did you hope everyone's doing well? Gonna be chilling as always. Enjoyed the vibes here. Well, thank you, Iggy. I really appreciate that. Oh, good. Oh, good. The person who was getting the berries ate the first berries they grabbed, got food poisoning, and got downed from it. So that's going to help everything. All right. Well, I guess you're going back on to growing and plant cut. Honestly, you just stay down for a moment. The starvation, I think, is a more urgent issue. Just fine. How bad is the starvation going on you? Not actually showing. We haven't hit the point of getting like the actual percent build up where it's like, oh yeah, they're starving. We just have to watch because if the starvation gets too high, it'll start penalizing their consciousness, which is already in dire strait because of their drug withdrawals. And if it hits 0, they do die. Oh, good. And we're being attacked immediately. And you are decently capable with your weapons. Versus you, who is not. So this is honestly a pretty big problem. Because they're also attacking melee, so I do not have the time. So grab the Equa. Might as well give you the best chance of winning this fight. Alright. I don't think there's anything I'd use to have my others do to distract. Sextuple's not going to be up. Actually, Sextuple might be up in time to help. Alright, let's quickly see if we can't do something crafty here. So you drop a tile there. We're going to... You'll never do hauling, of course not. Never mind. I was going to remove the wood there really fast and close the door with the intention of trying to slow down the attacker long enough so that maybe Sextuple would be able to jump in here, because if their food poisoning kits are covering, they might be able to get back up. So I'm going to let them path and just see if we can't drag this out as long as possible. I'm gonna stand all the way in the back. And just kind of hope... Oh, you know what? This might actually work. Go grab someone. Take a leg. Yeah, that's what we do. Is it only a week until the hot potato event? Not even a week. Hot potato event is already coming up. Alright, so we did manage to prevent that raid from being a problem just by giving them a chance to, try to kidnap one of our people so he wouldn't fight back. I wasn't sure if he would fight back or not, which is the reason I was hesitant to go for it at the beginning. Again, we're just trying to feed people so they don't starve to death, which is genuinely becoming a problem. And we're not ready to take on anyone else to start rehabbing people yet. We're working on ourselves right now. Relaxing socially? I think not. Whereas we still have people who are actively starving. Until that's resolved, need you to keep working. Okay, so we have... So Lanix who's starving? Yeah. Alright. Yeah, so it starts the 26th and it goes until the 1st. Is the RimWorld hot potato. My segment, depending on your time zone, will be either late on the 30th or early on the 1st. I've got the time on the Discord and all that. Meanwhile, where's a pool of water so we can just dump the body for right now? Marsh will probably work. That'll probably be fine for the moment. So we'll make a dumping zone over here. It'll be for human-like corpses only at critical priority. Because our guest standing in the door here has got to go. Alright. You should be getting over your food poisoning pretty soon. Alright, so I need him to go back to trying to get all the food we can. Keep people getting fed. Alright. So I've only got Lanix left to feed, and that'll be this round of food for the moment. I need you to not have a mood break, please. Oh, your sister died. So I'm assuming Ichitenma just got eaten by a panther. Cool, man. Real helpful, that one. Also, please haul this corpse out of here. So I guess we're not going to worry about ever having the opportunity to get Ichitenma back, because they're no longer around. That's way closer than I want it. Tribal family trees are infinite. There goes the doctor. Oh, yeah. That was our actual doctor. Well, that'll probably be okay on a A jungle tile. Okay, so we've got some actual food. Alright, so I need to turn back sowing on these crop plants before it gets too far. That should give us a little bit of a buffer. This is fine. Well, I mean, this is what we've expected. When you're starting with literally everyone being a recovering addict, you expect the whole place to melt down for a little while. No! The guy dropped beer and sextuple managed to get into it. You enjoy. I love you. Little while forever, same thing. Yeah. It'll be fine. Well, that's what we joked about before I took it a challenge. I was like, oh, I already know it's gonna be a frustrating challenge where everyone is just gonna be melting down again and again. Because what's gonna end up happening is once we finally get these ones through their first, addictions, ultimately what will happen after that is we will reach the point where when we bring the next person in to work on them, you're just gonna have another person who's gonna be melting down constantly. Because we'd be dealing with 2 or 3 addictions going into withdrawal and all that. So any additional people we get is gonna be just a nightmare. That even if they're a good pawn, that means they basically have to wait a season-ish before they're not just throwing a fit. Yep, 29 days. Oh, you're just gonna keep cooking endlessly because I don't have a stockpile yet. So pretty soon we'll want to start branching out more stuff. And I'm really worried about that panther right now. Because it's just chilling nearby, and sooner or later it's gonna get hungry and start hunting. And with 2 people, there's a good chance that that panther's gonna do a decent amount of damage before we take it out. Unless we get lucky and, catch it in the leg right away. Most likely we're gonna have a rough go of it. I don't think you had particularly good... No, actually, you've got really good combat skills, so... We might get lucky and if it goes to hunt, or if we go after it after a while. I'd like to get a 3rd person up before I do. Yeah, so let's take you back off of growing again. That's that way you can get our research back on track. When you have no competent doctors, everybody's a doctor. That's where we're at. That's the kind of run we're looking at. So the next thing we're probably going to want to do is actually make a proper rec room once we got one of our construction people up. Because of the proper rec room, we should be able to mitigate some of these mood breaks. Now granted, as far as mood breaks go, we haven't had too many. We did have the run wild, which is really bad. We did have a psychotic wander. But that's been kind of the big mood breaks we've dealt with for the moment. It's been mostly just literally people being knocked out from their withdrawal. And these are going to be really annoying that I built right next to these, because I want to get those out of the way. Okay. Starvation again. We just need to feed them. That's all we have to do with that. And you're still set to burn drugs as your main priority. All right. Just make sure no one managed to sneak more drugs in our inventory. Okay, so that's going to give us stuff towards getting our clothes and all that. We're not getting our area cleaned up meaningfully, which is a problem. But honestly, with multiple people throwing up and all that because of all that. Yeah, so you managed to sneak the alcohol. It is what it is. Alright, so we're getting close to 50% of the way through on the harder addictions we've got going on, the go juice and all that. So, we're halfway there. It's starting to stabilize here. You're probably about getting pretty close to done with your addiction. Yeah, so we're about to have our first person rehabbed. Which will be Doppelganger here. And Doppelganger has officially been our first successfully rehabbed person in the colony. Mostly because they had the most mild drug addiction of everybody. But you know what? A win's a win. Doppelganger is now going to be at least mostly functional, other than the fact that they're upset that their sister died. Yeah, so you've still got a long ways to go because you did manage to get a hold of that stuff. Good news is the other ones, because they're downed, they won't be able to grab anymore. So it's mostly just trying to keep Sextuple Negative from burning everything down around them for a little while. And apparently getting food poisoning immediately, because that's what we want. Alright. Meanwhile, one of the things I was going to do, and I hadn't done yet, is let's go ahead and I'm going to make a new counter for the stream. So stream rehabbed. Save, and I will go to you, copy, do this, edit, paste effects, write to file, change the file, rehabbed. And I'm just setting up a, setting up a thing so I can add a thing on the screen that shows how many people we've got rehabbed. So I'll have that all set up, that all set up. Alright, so I can go down here and we will add a new label. So let's see, rehabbed label. We've had our first actual colonist death because by getting food poisoning, their consciousness did drop below 0%, killing them. Because it's running around dealing with that. Not that I could have done much about it other than just not have them fed. Never do hauling. Excellent. Going great. So read from file, choose the file. So meanwhile everyone's dying and I'm just sitting here trying to set up this. We're gonna like, it's almost like rehab is a really messy thing that is really difficult to make happen. Oh wait, I have to actually update the list before we'll do that. That's fine. So we can go here and I will rehabbed days, that's fine. Counter, update counter, select. Rehabbed, increment by 1, and I will make it so only I can use it. That's fine, I'll leave it open and we'll say 1 minute on everyone. Okay. So now, that's not what we want. If I do rehabbed, it should update my counter, which should generate a file. There we go. And I know we got a person going berserk. I'm just trying to get this label on the screen real quick. So I can track our utter failure, actually, of what's going on. But, so we can go ahead and do this, which is to keep track of how many pawns we've successfully rehabbed. Which is 1 right now. And honestly, we might be going back to 0 pretty soon at the way this is going, but we'll see. We're just trying to ride out this early thing. There we go. Alright, so sextuple negative went berserk and then collapsed. And doppelganger's in a daze anyways, so there's nothing I could do about it, so I guess I don't even have to worry about that berserk. So I would do something, but I have control of no pawns at the moment. So, you know, that's a whole thing. Starvation on Lanix. Can't help you. Got real close to dying from the food poisoning. Was down to like in the teens. You feel like I've been septuple negative this run. Hey, you're back on your feet. It's like nothing bad's going on. All right. They're unhappy that we didn't bury the colonist. So if you could actually just please haul that body out of here already. And feed Lanix so they don't die. Okay, and we want someone to have the social role we've got in the colony. So let's actually look at what we've got in our skill set and what needs to be dealt with. So let's plan for you to... We'll have you do the handling. We still have someone who is capable of crafting around at least, so we can go ahead and put you for crafting, deprioritize that. So unfortunately, we're just trying to keep anything functional at the moment, so this is not going to smooth this. Gonna have you clean up this place real fast. Extreme break risk, not a whole lot I could do about that. You are dealing with alcohol withdrawal, so you're just going to be really upset about it. You shouldn't be recreation deprived. Well, I mean, you're probably just not getting recreation because you're busy having all sorts of issues. As far as LA go, you've got 5 social, so you're definitely going to be the moral guide. A young beggar wishes for aid. That's fine. Sometimes they'll give you goodies later, so that's fine. So with that sorted, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I will go and set up an ideology spot for the moment. And I will give you the title. Because at least with the title, I can potentially use it to heal people if we do get someone sick. We are in a jungle tile, so that's a very genuine concern. So if I can go ahead and get a moral guide here so we can use the, like, preach health on the pinch if someone gets, like, malaria or something. That'll help. If you're hungry, eat something. Are you not also set to doctor? Like, why are you not... Why are you not feeding that person? Alright. So yeah, so we're definitely having a rocky start here. That... Oh, goody. The Panther ate part of Lanix, so that's a whole experience, I guess. I was like, where did your head go? Well, we're just downsizing the operation. That's all we're doing. It's a deliberate downsizing. We realized we have a bit too many people, and we're just getting rid of some of them. Obviously, that's not what's happening. What's happening is pretty much what I expected the big issue to be with a lot of these, that all these addictions are causing us issues. Zaxoprax no longer has an addiction problem? I mean, yes, still technically addicted. But yeah, no, it's, so we've had some bad luck. We had the one person run wild, and they got eaten by a panther. Then Zaxel, got food poisoning while going through a lot of addictions, so their consciousness hit 0, so they died. And they got eaten by a panther. Lanix is still alive, working through their addictions. They're about 60-something%. Doppelganger here has successfully managed to kick their ambrosia addiction because it's easy addiction to get rid of. Unfortunately for Sextuple, they did manage to relapse, so we gotta start over with that one. We did have a raider come in and bring us supplies, and Sextuple went right for him. So, yay. I should probably bury that colonist, but honestly, that'll rot relatively fast, and I just don't want to deal with it. Yeah, some minor break risk. Considering alcohol withdrawal, it could be worse. Forever druggy. Yeah, we're working on it. We'll get you through it, buddy. Kicking addictions is hard. Like, most people's journey to recovering from an addiction usually involves 1 or 2 times, or a lot more, that you do end up having to take a step back and get back up again. We'll get you there. We'll stick to it. And we got our research queued up still. Yeah, so things will be a little bit slow at the beginning phase here. Where everyone's dealing with addictions, there's only so much I can kind of get going. So we're keeping Doppelganger mostly focused on research, and Sextuple mostly focused on trying to get the food stabilized. Obviously, once we get to the point of being able to harvest most of this stuff, food is going to be a non-issue, because this is way more farm than I need for the amount of colonists we have. This is probably more farm than I need for the 5. For just 3, this is just simply overkill. But I don't honestly care. Without refrigeration, they'll rot anyway, so it shouldn't hurt our colony wealth too much. Individual units of food are not worth a whole lot of money. You just gotta watch for when you start getting mountains of food in a freezer, and then realize your freezer's worth 100,000 or something. And we got spacecraft chunks. I'm gonna leave those. Let's have you just run out there and haul that back real quick before it rots. Yeah, so you got a lot to go before you recover. So you're getting, most likely what'll happen is once we get over the Go Juice addiction, then we will have Lanix back in working order in the colony, which will give us our dedicated construction and mining person, at which point we'll start working on actually doing something with the base again. Because it's just right now, the issue we have is I just don't have the spare workers to do it. You can go with the Naked Brutality where you can have like one person that they do one responsibility and then you trade them to the next responsibility, then the next one. I am kind of just going with, it's fine. We'll just, like, we have relatively low wealth. I don't need to worry about it too badly. We're not playing at like 500% or anything like that. I am expecting the drug addictions to be my primary problem. And the fact that we made everyone hostile to us. But that shouldn't really change too much. RimWorld will still behind the scenes say, oh, it's time to throw a raid at you or a bad event. Okay, well there's your raid. And it rolls the dice to see who it comes from and yada yada. So it shouldn't really change too much. Getting to be close to 70. We'll work on that complex clothing. And you're 1/4 of the way, so luckily they seem to get through the alcohol addiction relatively quick. Later on, we'll want to end up burying people to not keep the mood penalty. Hey, Longclaw, how's it going? And as a reminder, I do usually play 2 games a night. We're still have well over an hour of RimWorld to go. But usually I will split my stream between multiple games, so later on we'll be doing some Farming Simulator 25. Really fun game, simulation style game. It is one of those games that if you haven't played it before, you kind of look at it and go, why would people play that? Why would that be fun? Then you play and you go, I understand now. Which is pretty much the way with, honestly, a lot of simulation games. If you look at the vast majority of simulation games, it is work but simulation. And a lot of them are really good. Been playing a lot of Tropico 6. For those who don't know Longclaw, absolutely fantastic content creator. And all that. Has been on a bit of a hiatus at the moment just because of various things they've got to sort out before they can get back into content creation. But it'll be good when you do get to come back. It'll be nice to have you back. Alright. But 70% go juice withdrawal. You're still in the first half with Farming Simulator? Don't understand it? Yeah, Farming Simulator is one of those ones that genuinely when you first start playing it, it is kind of like RimWorld where it drops you in the world and you go, I have no idea what's going on. And you do end up having to get like a little bit of progress in the game and go, oh, I'm starting to get a little bit of how this works. So like RimWorld, it's, you know, figuring out the first things about like, okay, food poisoning's a big deal. The very basics of how, you know, there's cover and all that for fighting. And, you know, just generally mood as a broad concept. Along with say, it seems like a lot of people have been playing the new Farming Simulator. Can you already say that if you've heard of this one or the previous one? Yeah, no, this is, generally with Farming Simulators, never a reason to play the old ones when the new one comes out. Because it is, they kind of take the previous game and they do, like, a major addition to it kind of thing. So it's not like some games where they go, here is, you know, this RTS, and you've got the new version, it has its new units, and some people don't like this new unit and that new unit. There really aren't those positions for, like, negatives to happen. Like, if they introduce a new crop and you don't like it, you just don't plant that new crop and you're good. But, they did a massive amount of quality of life improvements, add a whole bunch of new crops. Some of them are pretty interesting, like the rice is a pretty interesting one. There's a massive, like, graphical improvement and yada yada yada. They've got, like, the giant projects on the map now, so you go to the map, it's not just you do your farm. There's, like, this big project where if you want to, you can, like, build the thing on the map to improve the, you know, improve the community you're in and yada yada. The only thing I would say can potentially be a reason to not buy a new one is if your computer cannot handle it. Because the whole catch of the graphics getting better is the system requirements go up. Which is a totally fair reason to not play the new one. Is if, you know, you struggle to run 22, well, 23 ain't gonna run for you. Gives you Factorio vibes. This gives you Factorio vibes, or Farming Sim. A desperate refugee has shown up. Alright, this is gonna go great. Come along, refugee. You are not a child, so rule number 1, drop your weapon immediately. I cannot force you to drop your drugs. We'll try to help you with your rehab situation. Oh, that's just anomaly stuff. So let's go to your things here. We'll go ahead and give you a recreation block there. Get you assigned to whatever I can have you help with. Because the whole thing of beggars can't be choosers. And so we'll have you help with construction for right now. You're not going to bother with that. Yeah, so you can help construct for a little bit. Yeah, no, it is like a 2D graphics top down. But yeah, no, it's, like, that's about as far as it goes. It's the top down side. Because, like, when you look at it, you don't have, like, the conveyor belts of the factory or automation or anything like that. This one, you have to deal with moods and external threats and all that. You don't directly control your characters very much. So it's like that. I've been seeing Factorio a lot of games lately. Might be addicted to. Yeah, no, Factorio is excellent. I've got a poll going on the Discord for the time being. Let me check something. Alright, it's one thing I have to actually respond to. Okay, you're gonna hide in your room? That's totally fine. And thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. I was gonna say, we do have a poll going on the Discord about if people want to see me do another run in Factorio. And all that. Yeah, it's all fine. But we've got that poll going on, which basically, we did a full playthrough of the new DLC in Factorio. It was a lot of fun, and I've had a lot of people want to see more. And so I went ahead and put a poll on the Discord and our polls channel, basically saying, hey, do you want to see me do another run of, or do more Factorio? And then if so, do you want me to see, like, do you want to see a new run? Or do you want me to continue the run we're going on to, like, Achievement Hunt / Mega Factory? Which it is actually a pretty even split between, yes, I want to see a new run, or I want to see a run in Factorio, like more Factorio, I should say, and no / indifferent. I have those two together. But when it comes to if we do more, it's very heavily one-sided, like very, very heavily one-sided towards wanting to see a new run. But we got that going on. Other things we got going on the channel is we do have the RimWorld Hot Potato coming up here at the end of the month is my segment for that, but that starts here on the 22nd, or 26th, which is in 2 days. I am going to be doing Dredge on December 1st, and we'll be playing through that for the first time, because that's been a highly requested game on the channel, and I've heard nothing but good things about it. I am going to be playing it pretty much blind. The only thing I know is there's vague spookiness in it. Things sometimes come out of the dark, you have to run away from them, and the fish are creepy. That's about my knowledge of Dredge. And that you're a boat. That's pretty much my knowledge about Dredge, because I have deliberately not spoiled myself. Yeah, so it's 13 yes / no, or 13 to 12 yes, no, and then 13 to 6 new / continuing. And all those counts technically go down by 1, because I technically voted on all of them. It's also a New Zealand game dev studio. Oh, Dredges? That's cool. I didn't know that. Alright. So you got a little bit while longer until that your sister died drops off. The Colonist Unburied should go away very soon. Yeah, that'll go away very soon. Trev is helping out around here at the moment. So let's go ahead and get ourselves another building going if we can. Unfortunately, we got all this junk over here that I gotta get rid of. So, I'm gonna do this complex style, I think. I don't do that very often. But we're gonna start making ourselves... Wait, sorry. I started building like I was going to build a, Let's make ourselves a dedicated rec room. So right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and go 9, so it's 9 by 9. Yeah, so 9... 9, go across there, slap down a door. That needs to be broken, so hey Trev, if I can have you go punch that, that'd be swell. So I have Trev here work on breaking that. Yeah, so where we are able to take our own pawns and keep them from taking the drugs to slowly work on their rehab. Refugees and that we can't. When they run out, and then we can start rehabbing them. Realistically, the pawn's gonna leave or whatever. It's a simple fishing game. Yeah. Does he never fish until you notice the name of the credits? Yeah. But, it is just one of those things with, like, Dredge that it looks like an interesting game to, like, play and all that. I've been told it's not a particularly long game, which is funny when that got brought up. And a bunch of people like, oh, well, it's not a very long game, so, I hope that's okay. And it's like, honestly, with how many long games have been coming out and just trying to manage that, I am more than okay if the game is one that we do a couple of streams and it's done. Because it is those things that lately we've had a lot of games that take me, 10, 12, 15 streams to get through, which is totally fine. but then with more and more games coming out, they get really tricky at times. Versus a game where you can kind of get in and get out and be like, cool, I had a good time. Yeah. Like, that's honestly much easier to deal with. So it does look like we're finally have enough growing skill to be able to get the actual farm there going, which will be good. So my plan is to make this into a rec room. You tried to convert me to your ideology? Get over here, Tread. Oh, this is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for just convert. We'll work on that. We'll get you converted to our ways. We probably won't. They'll probably leave before that happens. But that's fine. We got tattered apparel happening. Oh, that's on the refugee. That's fine. They'll get this, you know, they'll deal with that on their own. Yeah, I'll try and get this to be a rec room for ourselves and work on that. Then this will go into being our production room. Eventually, I'll probably widen the room. But we don't want to put way too much time into the room being wood, because wood burns really well. And fires will be a problem on this tile. I'm still worried about this this panther down here. You know what I might do? The next time it's daylight... Oh, hi, chinchilla. That's fine. We can eat you. That's okay. Oh, there's 7 panthers on my map? Calm down. Look. Here I'm like, let me deal with this panther here. It'll be a little bit spicy with the situation we've got going on. And the game's like, well, how do you feel about 7? That's a lot of dangerous animals on one map. Alright. So we will take you and reinstall you over here. And reinstall you over here. We can start going over here to the beds. And we're just moving them to our room. Okay, so this room's still pretty awful. It won't be as bad as this room because we won't take the negatives for having junk all over the floor. But that's fine for right now. Yeah, ritual spot. Plenty of petable kitties on the map. Took you 30 hours to 100%? Oh, that's really... That's honestly really not, like... That's not a bad amount for a relatively inexpensive game. Like, that's the same thing I felt about with I Am Future. I Am Future was not a particularly long game. It actually looks like 100%ing it could take me a good while. But as far as just doing the game at all, you know, we got through it relatively quickly. Okay, so you actually got your first addiction knocked off, Lanix, I believe. We're getting pretty close to getting your Go Juice knocked off. So that'll be good. I'm pretty sure once the Go Juice drops, you'll be back on your feet. Okay, and Zaxelbrax is about to recover. Not recover, about to disappear. The opposite of recover. About to no longer be actively rotting in the water. For the moment, we'll just make a dump zone over there for getting the stone and all out of here. So we definitely want to convert this into a proper break room. So for the moment, I'll add some chairs and all that. We'll have some recreation stuff here. And then we'll see what we could do about trying to get ourselves some other good stuff going on, all that. Yep, so we're only allowed to gain reputation through, Oh yeah. I'm only allowing myself to gain reputation through giving people food. We do have the factions have been changed to all be hostile to us. Except the refugee, which is a temporary one. So they're all hostile to me. And our goal here is to basically ally with all of them, with the only means providing them food. And that's just because we're doing something thematically with the farm sim thing where we are trying to be like farmers who grow stuff for everyone and also rehab. Because we had two different challenge ideas we were discussing, and we just said, well, what happens if we just mash these into one? So everyone's an enemy of us, but we will go and try and get that. So right now, though, just dealing with our own drama is our immediate priority. And then once we get our own drama sorted out, we can start worrying about achieving whatever objectives we want. So we are going to try and rehab as many pawns. Oh, I need to move that rehab label over a little bit farther than I did. It's giving me a little bit of room so when I add more numbers to it, it doesn't get clipped off the side. Yeah, so we've rehabbed one pawn. We're working on the others. Yeah, you hovering right here. Alright, complex clothing is research. We'll do complex furniture probably next. Then we'll do stone cutting. So you can go here for production. I'm going to go ahead and put the tailoring bench here and a fueled stove. We're probably overdue for both of those. And keep that going. Probably going to run out of wood soon, which is fine. Yeah, and you might get up and immediately have a mood break. We are in a tile that has a road bisecting it. That was deliberate with the whole thing with trying to trade to make allies and all that. The intention there would be to go and, there's another panther in here. There's so many panthers on the map. Well, you can get a second range pawn, I'd feel way better about it. Because with two decent range pawns, we could definitely make that. Cool. So, we've got that colonist. So we're no longer getting the unburied colonist penalty. Alright. Thank you for botching the construction. We don't have a whole lot of materials, so that's really helpful. That panther's gotta go. It's probably the thing that the moment that Lanix is back on their feet, we're gonna give them a weapon and we're gonna kill that panther as fast as we can. Are you good any good at shooting, Trev? I'll probably get you involved. You're really good at shooting. Okay. Where did our second bow go? Wasn't it just right in here? That's fine. Don't worry about the monolith. We're not looking at focusing on that right now. Alright. So you gotta... You're right about... Oh, there's another panther literally right here. Okay, you're cleaning stuff up. How much longer do you have? Alright, I think I'm gonna wait for them to go to bed. And we're gonna kill one of them. That way I should get an opening shot or two that maybe we can do some damage before it really gets a chance to react. Okay. So grabbing everyone, moving them down here. I'm gonna take them kind of the limit of the range. Alright, so we're going to try and do as much damage as we can on it. Of course, I'd miss on the opening. Alright. I mean, even just chasing him away is still not a terrible thing. Okay, we did actually hit it this time. It was a right ear hit, which doesn't help us at all so far as preventing problems. We're gonna have Doppelganger run up front, so hopefully they take the aggro. Please hit it. Please hit it. Alright, well that'll do for right now. Doppelganger got pretty messed up, but we at least got rid of it. And yes, it's playing the, some of the music from... What's the word? Anomaly. We do have a mod that just lets it have the full playlist, as opposed to having a heavily restricted playlist. Not assigned to doctoring. So finish your food, and then I need you to deal with Doppelganger's many injuries. Food binge on Trev. I was about to make you drop your weapon. Oh, you are so bad at this between your withdrawals and all of that. Lumpy music, don't stop the music mods. Yeah, that and there's like OST on lockers, another one I found I really like. Because there's some music that's locked behind royalty and some music that's locked behind anomaly that you can only get when, you know, you've activated the anomaly stuff. No, I needed you to finish tending. Alright. So you can just tend to yourself. That's where we're at right now. Oh, apparently they immediately got over it. We're not going to be doing Ship to the Stars. Take off self-tending for right now. Someone please feed Lanix. Okay, so you're about to get over your go juice, which I believe will be more enough for you to get back up and rejoin the colony. Trevor's eating all the food? I am aware. I don't know what you want me to do about it. I've got an injured pawn, a pawn who's, like, not really set up. Eat them back. We don't do cannibalism typically in the colonies. Generally speaking, I will fight to survive without cannibalism. Alright, so there's you. Equip the knife. We've got Lanix back in action. They're already mostly over their thing, so Trev's now better. And you're in a daze. That's fine. Okay, so you're gonna work in the campfire. Alright, you need more steel, so I'm gonna go ahead and queue that up to be mined. So we can work on that. I do want to take care of the next one of the Panthers in the area, but we need to wait till things are a bit better. In the meantime, you drop your bow. If we're not actually using it, because they can still betray us. We don't have that many people to help out with stuff. And who is our cook? That's Doppelganger. You go ahead and butcher that panther before it rots. Joe's back after all the food is gone? Yep. Nuts. We're gonna need to get very used to that. That's, we're gonna be dealing with mood breaks constantly. We're gonna have people binge eating. We're gonna have people getting into fights. We're gonna have people trying to burn down the buildings. Like, that is just the nature of the run we're doing. Is we just need to accept the fact we're going to be dealing with a lot of headache. Alright, so let's get ourselves dusters. And we will want pants and button-down shirts. And then we can give them cowboy hats. And face masks. Anything else I need? We'll probably want kids' clothing later. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Details. I don't care what they make it out of. I don't care who does it. If you don't see them with at least... I'm just gonna go say 90%. If you don't see them with at least 90% quality, or at least 90% the hit points, make new ones. Cool. So we can start getting people tailoring. Now you need a proper stove, so we can go here. And this is no longer going to be where we cook our meals. So we'll get at least some recovery on the penalties for all that. Then you go bills, add, cook simple meal, do until you have 10. And it'll say cook a vegetarian fine meal until you have 10. We're nowhere near ready to do that, but I don't actually expect that to be a problem anyways. Lost 1 colonist. All the farms going well? Lost 2 colonists, actually. We lost 1 colonist to getting food poisoning while they were going through withdrawal. So their consciousness dropped below 0, which instantly kills you. And then we lost a 2nd colonist to running wild and then getting attacked by a panther. There's a tantrum. Have a good time. Like, honestly, in this colony, tantrum, I can live with pretty easily. Like, that to me is a free catharsis. Until we start getting something valuable that we care about, and then that's more problematic. Alright, so yeah, so we want to get rid of that once we can. Yeah, so having the multiple construction people just banged on some walls, we ran around and took care of it. We're going to need more wood. Let's clean up the trees immediately around here. Because that's where the stove's not operating. The next thing we'll do is go here. Burn apparel, do forever. If it is tainted, burn apparel, do forever. If it is below 90% health, it is not utility or armor. You'll start there. Yeah, when they attack the valuable items. Oh yeah. Alpacas join. Ah, food. So I'll give us some quick food as well. Got major break risk on Doppelganger. Who is mostly, they're hungry, but also their sister died, which is one of our colonists. We still have awful barracks. I don't really have enough floor tiles to do what we want here. I could do the totemic boards with that thing. Major break risk. Oh, it's gonna be a constant thing. We're dealing with all of our colonists start with drug addictions, and every single character on the map has a drug addiction kind of thing. So it's just gonna be a thing that we're going to be fighting with. So expect this to be a very break-heavy thing. Because when you get a person who has like 4 withdrawals they're going through, they're like at a minus 110. You know, compared to whatever positive you can get them, there's going to be only so much you can do to manage that. Alright. And you're getting pretty close to... Well, actually, still got a little bit to recover. Okay, so we've got our break room for now. I still am working on getting the stone cutting to hopefully make that not as terrible. We'll certainly want a better butcher spot than this. Just trying to wait for them to recover so we can take out another panther and hopefully not have nearly as much of an issue. Who is our researching and why is it not getting... Ah, because our researcher became our cook. Right. So we're stuck splitting our time between researching and cooking. That's okay. We'll manage that. That's actually not a terrible combination. Certainly I'd like to have a dedicated research, but researcher cook is not too awful. I want to make a steel bench here. Or not steel, a wood bench there. Okay, so we got the other panther way over there. Alright. We've got everyone ready if we can. We don't want to run across the whole map just to take out panther. I'm trying to watch the ones nearby. Later on when we have better equipment... Oh, there we go. There is one right nearby. When we have better equipment, it will be one of those things that will regularly go out of our way to just kill off whatever dangerous animals are on the map. Hey, let's go ahead and reposition you real fast for no reason. We got Manhunter Pack is rolling in, so let's just go ahead and reposition ourselves right back. I've also had it with a Manhunter Pack, when you got like a bunch of like panthers on your map. I've had it before where the Manhunter Pack shows up and like half of them just get shredded by the various dangerous animals in the map looking for food. That's usually only when I have like an enclosed perimeter. Okay, Solanix got nibbled on. Right now I'm just dealing with if the panthers get close, they die. Okay, and you are a doctor. So please tend to them without waiting. We will have to deal with that. Oh, you're almost over your alcohol. That'll be really nice to finally have you not angry about existence itself. We're probably going to be getting some infections soon just because we are in a tropical rainforest, and just the disease chance is so high. So every time we get those injuries, the chance of getting infections are going to be pretty awful. Cool, so we're starting to actually cut down some trees. Get ourselves proper food again. Okay, so with that, we can go here and go to a... So we have solar flare and a party, that's fine. Get yourselves a wood butcher table. And a stool for that. Production-wise, I don't think we need really anything else for the moment. But when we finish researching the stone cutting, we'll get the stone cutting, and that's when I'm gonna start trying to expand again. We'll make it a priority to like just start chopping up stone and doing all that stuff. Meanwhile, for our quests, we have Gesta parts in 11 days, so I'll have them converted here in like a day or two. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Alright, so we got 2 people on extreme break risk. Because of drug withdrawal on you. That's a refugee, that's not surprising. I'm just gonna ask you to drop that weapon, though. An extreme break risk on you because of alcohol withdrawal, and you got a ways to go before you're over it. So it's the drug withdrawals. That's what we got. And then with that, Lanix is right about to become our second successfully rehabbed character. So that'll be good. You got 2 panthers down there, another one up here. And they are doing a pretty good number on the smaller animals on the map. And as those get to properly load, then they'll start targeting us a lot more just because of a lack of other options. And regain our cotton finally. Okay, Trev is in a daze. But they're right about to get converted, so I'll be good. And that'll help with some of the negative mood stuff they've got going on. We'll end up taking apart a lot of these ruins around here as well. They're just not a priority yet. Right about to get that stone cutting done, at which point I'm going to start putting down some floors to make our rooms not terrible and all that, which should help with moods a lot. We're also getting ourselves a little bit of extra, like, better food, which should also help with moods a great deal. I'm trying to remember. So the nearest neighbors we have is the Sierra thing. Yeah, so... Wait. Aren't you supposed to be hostile to me? Oh, I'm clicking the wrong one. Yeah, so they're hostile to us. So I should be able to go over there and gift them a bunch of food to slowly win them over once we get to that point. Right now, we don't have nearly any of that to deal with, so that's fine. Alright. We're going to be leaning mostly on the farming side, not so much on the animal ranching, just because animal ranching can be pretty inefficient food-wise. Just the amount of food you have to feed the animals before you slaughter them to get the meat. It just ends up being those things that doesn't really give you a lot of mileage. Like, that food will just carry, like, the plants you grow would carry you much farther. It's one of the things that makes rancher colonies really difficult, is just the sheer amount of stuff you have to grow to maintain enough animals to survive exclusively on meat. Can be a little bit of a hassle. It's very doable. It's the same thing that can be a pain with the ghouls as well if you're trying to do, like, a ghoul army kind of run. Alright, so we got the complex furniture, so now I can get the stone cutting. So that'll be good news as well. Alright. I forgot that we were working on the complex furniture still. So we can go up here, because that's gonna still mean I need more time. Let's plan to do 5, 6. You know what? Let's just go big. So this is going to be where we're going to make our storage room. Obviously, I got a bunch of junk in here I'm going to tear down. But that's fine. So we'll start making a storage room real quick. Actually, now I think about it, don't put the door here. Put it there. So we can keep our storage room internal to the base. But that'll let me build shelves and all that kind of stuff to get things going. So I did make it probably much bigger than I need to for the moment, but that'll be fine. We'll end up needing getting rid of all that trash, which will be pretty straightforward. Let's take one of my people I don't need to be working our stuff. Probably a Trev right here after he finishes a meal. We'll probably have him start banging on a bunch of that stuff I can't disassemble to get rid of it. And eventually I'll be able to enclose this area. So it's stuff like panthers just wandering around don't just become a constant nuisance. Oh, did I build the wrong bench? Gross. That's on me. Conversion. So everyone's on the same page now. So I accidentally built 2 of the tailoring benches when I went to make a butcher table. So that's not my favorite. There we go. So that was a waste of materials. Alright, there's no reason to get anyone else do anything here. So you're fine for the moment. What I'm actually going to have you do, you go start breaking these things. I need to get them out of here so that we can build all our shells without a problem. Most of the time I'll avoid a lot of these things unless it's like later on. Or if I'm doing the pollution challenge, sometimes these are just in the way and you just gotta kind of accept it. That's fine. And then that'll get Trevel sorted. We'll have all these out of here. Those will need to be hauled out of the building. Alright. That can be left open. Okay. Cool. And once I enclose that, we're going to move all this junk there so we don't deal with, like, the weird inventory stuff. And as it starts to fill up, we'll add shelves so it doesn't have the negative appeal. As well as, you know, so it's just easier to manage all of our stuff. It'll be fine. So Lennox is hauling. Let Lennox have a slightly higher clean requirement instead of hauling. And normally I'll take the time to also have my zone so that the steel goes outside, down to 3. Yeah, no, when we started off pretty early on, we had one person went wild and got attacked by a panther while they were a wild person. And the other one got food poisoning while with extreme withdrawal. And so it was enough, it dipped their consciousness below 0, killing them. But I believe with that, we now have... our second person who has been rehabbed. So paid heat wave. We're not allowed to get standings using things other than food. So there's all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so we are working where we only have one person still with any addictions. That's a sextuple who's getting to the tail end of their alcohol addiction. We do have a refugee here who's visiting, who is slowly getting over smoke leaf addiction. They'll be out of here before they get that settled, I'm pretty sure. But that'll be fine. We'll give you a really low priority for plant cut. So you can help cut down trees when you have nothing else to do. Why are you way down there? So don't worry about this. That doesn't exist. That's make-believe. Don't clean that. Cool, we're fine. Yeah, so we've got Lennox hauling right now. They are our construction person. There's just not enough wood for them to do more work. And because I did overplant, we are running into situations where a lot of the things aren't getting cut down. How many ship chunks are you gonna drop on me? That's like the 4th ship chunk event, and we're only 14 days into the run. Alright. So I was thinking like the Panthers are staying more on the periphery at the moment. Okay, so stone cutting is researched. That brings up the question of what our next focus is going to be. Now, one option would be to beeline to electricity and go that way. The other one is I could potentially go for the go for the smithing to start getting ourselves set up for machining and all that. We could also go the route of getting a musical instrument first, which is what I might actually do. It's not something I normally do. And the only reason I'm thinking that is we are going to be dealing with some pretty egregious number of mood breaks and all that. So I'm thinking musical instrument, another form of recreation. Let's get it locked in as fast as we can. Because anything and everything I could do to alleviate moods is going to go a long way. Alright, so we're starting to get our storeroom enclosed. So with that, I'm going to expand the storeroom up here. And then shrink it in from here. So that way they haul all this junk up there. And that should improve the quality of this room, and it should give us a storeroom that people don't need to run over stuff, more capacity, yada yada. Eventually want to get all the shelves in here. And hopefully they start getting that sorted out. We have an extreme break risk on sextuple negative. No surprise. Minus 35 from alcohol withdrawal is absolutely a bear. It's honestly one of those things I could see if we were to activate Anomaly and we got the Mind Numb Serum, I could see being pretty liberal in our use of Mind Numb Serum as another way to tackle this problem. Just when we have those people have those like horrifically bad addictions, just basically keep them dosed on Mind Numb to try and get them to the other side. Okay, so you're cleaning everything up. In the meantime, I didn't even pay attention. So we have what on this map? We have on our map, as far as different types of marble or stone and all that, we got new lovers. We got limestone, granite, and sandstone. So we got new lovers between. It's not gonna work out for you, sextuple. I'm just gonna go ahead and let you. Gonna let you know, unless Trev decides to stay, you can be pretty heartbroken when you get romantically involved with someone who's gonna leave the colony. So Trev courted sextuple negative by jokingly poking her hairstyle. This is attracted, and now Trev's lover. Cool. And we could have our ideological party, which would have real bad results, and we're gonna do it anyways. Because if we do the party, I might get ourselves some reform points or whatever, the ideology points. We did check, none of these should give me any type of boost with the neighbors or anything. Hey, it was fun! So we got 3 ideological points, and everyone will have a minor mood buff. So that's good. That was actually not great odds of that happening that way. Yeah, so everyone gets themselves a nice little buff for 5-6 days of a little bit of mood improvement, which honestly will help a lot. Yep, and so Lanix is just cleaning this room up. Oh, cool. We have this. Bricks, any stone, do forever. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and start. So the floors. No, you did Totemic Sandstone. That's real expensive stuff. Yeah, so it's limestone, granite, and sandstone. Let's plan for the limestone to be most of our floors, the sandstone to be the ones outside. Or actually, the limestone will be furniture, sandstone will be floors, and granite will be walls, as much as we can make happen. So the first thing I want to do is get so we stop having the penalty in here. I'm not going to bother trying to make like the really nice floors, because that's just not going to happen. So go ahead and get the sandstone floors going. This is also the point, if people don't have things to deconstruct, just start annihilating everything nearby. Or sorry, if they don't have the materials to construct everything, just start annihilating all these surrounding ruins. Until we have enough stone to build floor tiles and yada yada. Do we have someone who's crafting? Our crafter is our researcher, which means crafting is not going to really occur. So for right now, I will give them all priority for crafting. Why did they? Oh, I clicked the down arrow. That's fine. There we go. Alright. So yeah, so we're going to slowly build the floors in the room, and that'll start making the room not have as big of a penalty for being a dirt floor. It'll also keep it from being flammable. Yeah, that will end up mining the whole thing. Let's see, it would be fun if you could just say, use any stone to build this. Looks totally cursed, but hey, don't need to worry about getting the exact materials. Can always paint it later. I would be amazed if there's not a mod that does literally that. And also, yeah, it would be totally cursed. We can go to ideology now. We can go ahead and get our styling bench. One thing I do wish was in the base game is if I didn't have the materials, like, still give me the option of building it out of wood, but maybe put, like, a little icon next to it to be like, hey, just so you know, you're trying to build something, you don't got what you need to do it. Because I still want to build it out of wood instead of steel, because wood is very plentiful on my map and steel is not. But at the same time, you know, we'll just have to wait till we have the wood. It's fine. Alright, so we're starting to get our floors tiled in here. That should start improving their moods by making it, taking it from awful barracks that we'll slowly be able to build that up. What? Why is there a billion ships landing on our map? 3 desperate refugees? Excellent. Alright, so all of them are adults, and they all have their drug problems. So they're all going to drop their weapons. Schedules, we'll add recreation here. SAR. That's fine. Hey, but you know what? They got a doctor. And that already makes them pretty good in my book. Let's see. Can't remember what the default priorities are, so it's throwing me off. So let's see. So you can also technically help with doctoring. And childcare and basic. I'll put you on warden, but I don't care. Don't worry about that. You suck at cooking, so don't do that. You're not going to hunt because I'm not going to give you a weapon. You can help construct and mine. You can help grow and all that. Take all of you off these. Yeah, so we got a bunch of people who can grow stuff out of that group, so that's actually pretty good there. But yeah, there's got to be a way to set this back to your default sorting. That's close enough. All right. Yes, we got 3 more people. I am going to need more places for you to sleep. There we go. We'll want to get bedrooms going here in a minute, but first I need to get stone actually happening. We don't have any dedicated crafters, which is really not ideal, but I'm just having them tear apart ruins for right now for their brick, and we'll get proper stuff going later. I am half tempted to grab the refugees here. If we get any of the panthers nearby, use them as effectively meat shields while we kill the panthers. $18, sure. We'll start working at it. Yeah, so we are just chipping away at their ideology, which is part of the reason I like to do the Prolicizer, is just the whole work on converting ideologies for anyone who pops into our colony and just keep that rolling. Alright. You'll have our medicine harvesting soon. We're starting to get actual clothes in here. And go in here and say, I don't have limestone brick. I'll just say start doing the limestone there. Alright, so we got that wood there. Lynx and them should be working on... Okay, cool. So Lynx... Alright, yeah, because we got the extra people here. Now they're starting to cut down the trees and all that to give us a little bit of extra wood. We don't need to have a lot of wood since we're going to be switching what we're building out of. But that'll help in the moment. We still need construction. I'm not worried about mining the steel or the components or any of that yet. Right, and if we do have that, I could go to the ideology bench. And this doesn't need to be anywhere special. I usually get a styling bench. We do have the mod that lets them dye their own clothes, whatever their favorite color is. And I usually do that. It gives you like a 1 mood bonus. I don't really want it for the mood bonus. It's just that way, you know, if you don't do that, eventually everyone's clothes just to get to be like that same color. Or the color of whatever leather you get. It's just nice to have a variety. Cool. Sad Wander, I can live with that. That might be your last mood break before you recover from your addiction. And how are we doing so far as these? So we moved from awful barracks to just dull barracks. So we're slowly getting that going. Let's see, that feeling when more refugees than colonists? Uh-huh. Yup. I am aware. They're also gonna be really mad because they just realized they're ranchers, so they're gonna be all angry about eating plants. I guess it's just too bad because that's what's gonna just happen here. So floors, sandstone floor, we'll get that done for the next room. Area revealed, which is fine. Okay, so more than likely with how many people we have here, I probably will need more food. So I'm gonna go over here. We're gonna make a nice big zone. It's gonna be corn. This is making you really want to do this challenge. It seems like a pretty interesting challenge. Like, again, this challenge isn't focused on, okay, 500% no pause, naked brutality, like anything like that. It's just like everyone's got addictions, so it's mostly going to be managing where you're going to have breaks you cannot prevent. Because when someone shows up and they got like 4 or 5 addictions and they're all minus 35, there is nothing you can do to prevent that. Since the whole point is to clear their addictions, throwing drugs at them to make them happy again, is counterproductive to your goal. At the same time, if you're running into those characters that do have 4 or 5 different penalties going on, then you very genuinely might have to give them one of their drugs to keep, like, basically get them off. Like, they'll have their 4 addictions. You have like 2 addictions you're working on right now, and then you're feeding the other 2 until the first 2 are done, because all 4 of them could be potentially lethal or extremely dangerous. Yeah, so like... Oh, you're downed because you're stoned. I thought you were going to be downed because of that, because we're going to have some people who show up at the colony with their addictions, and once they run out of their own supply, there's a good chance they'll just get downed, and they'll just be stuck in our colony till they're rehabbed. The fact that literally everyone shows up with drugs is its own management problem for me as well. Because it means it's very easy for me to lose track of something, and immediately someone runs over there, grabs the drugs, and takes a hit to try and get through their addiction. That means the weak raids that we'll potentially be fighting early on become threatening in a totally different way, instead of like the fighting part, they're going to drop all their beer and all their smoke leaf and all of that. Cool, so there's the harp. I'm going to go for... We will go for electricity now. Alright, so I'm going to have them build the harp. Which I'm suddenly... The harp was... Where do I make that? It wasn't the smithy yet. You get the harp before the smithy. Was it just the crafting spot? We can check real fast. I almost never make harp, so it's just like, where do I make that again? You make the harp at crafting spot or smithy. Fair enough. So we'll just go production, crafting spot, put that here, and smash mech forever, and make a harp. Just to give me more recreation choices, to try and keep our people as happy as absolutely possible. Okay, we got a social fight over people trying to convert. I'm perfectly okay with that. I also like that I've got 5 doctors in this place, and they did not get patched up. Oh, wait, schedule. Yeah, I've already got them set to recreation as well. Can you still bite off fingers and that in social fights? Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, that's the reasons you get really frustrated with social fights, is they end up getting a lot of, like, minor scars and injuries and all that. And it's one thing that's just RimWorld, that just happens in time. But usually from, like, fights, and all those, like, little minor injuries make your pawns just a little bit easier to get down and a little bit easier to kill. So they do kind of compound to become real problems over time. You know, barring, like, a lot of it's been mitigated somewhat by, like, we now have an anomaly where you can regenerate injuries and all that. You have the, if you're doing, like, the biosculptor and doing bioregeneration, that can fix a lot of that. There are things like the ghouls and all that could fix that. Like, there's a lot of tools that we didn't used to have. So, in a lot of ways, social fights kind of used to be worse. Like, when ideology was around, but biotech nor anomaly were around, like, the ideology stuff, some of that could become really painful to deal with all that. So it is one of those interesting things. So just keep working on Jackal, get them converted first, because every additional person we get to follow our beliefs will be one less person we have to worry about that. Actually, don't put that there. Put you over here. Okay, so there'll be a little bit nicer stuff in here. How is it showing our... So our barracks is still at dull. That's still better than we had. And so we got ourselves a harp. Because he doesn't heal mech serum, heal addictions, and dependency? Probably. Which, honestly, weirdly, will be a bad thing in some cases. So say you need to use a heal mech serum to help someone with, like, something really scary, but they've got a bunch of addictions. We could run to situations where it'll prioritize things like malaria and all that. We could run to situations where maybe we want to deal with something, because I actually don't know what the priority is between addiction and scars. Okay, so we can go to you, die self-enabled. Okay. Does it heal Lucy? No. I'm pretty sure literally nothing in the game other than, like, going into dev mode and deleting it will ever heal Luciferum. Because that's the entire gimmick of Luciferum, is once you're on Luciferum, you know, it is supposed to be a lifelong commitment, no matter how long or short that life is. That's by design. It's intended to be a forever thing. That said, for me these days, I haven't really seen much reason to ever use Luciferum. Because it used to be you'd use Luciferum to deal with stuff like when you get a scar on your brain and all that. If you die in res, it's gone now? I don't think so. I believe Luciferium will even carry through death. Like, it's not those things like where you have, you know, a brain injury in the game where you can, you know, lob off their head and then resurrect them and it's all better. Because it's not associated with any particular organ in the body. They keep their addiction even through maiming and all that. Yeah, actually, we know it doesn't clear through death. Because earlier when we had the one pawn that we were disposing of in the water over here. You shouldn't have done it, Panther. You went after a cassowary and you just... Cassowary are a very fearsome beast that cannot be handled. So... It got down and is slowly bleeding out. We're just gonna go ahead and get ourselves a free meal. Thank you, Cassowary, for removing... Actually, a couple of them got missing. Ooh, actually, we're gonna be facing... Yeah, so pretty soon we're gonna start being hunted by the Panthers. Because the Panthers are running out of other things they can hunt. Which is why they're starting to go after dangerous stuff like the cassowaries and all that. But, like, they won't hunt the rhinoceros or the boomalope at all, so these are the only ones they will hunt. And they're not relatively close, because we got one over here, one over there. Yeah, so right now they're out in the fringes, but we will want to, if any of them get anywhere near us, we won't want to go out of our way to get rid of them. Alright, we go here and save right now. Floors. Remove. Okay, so we've got that taken care of. I do have some granite block. So, what we're going to go ahead and do is get our next set of rooms starting to go. This is probably going to be where we're going over for bedrooms. You know, 1, 2, 3. So I'll put those there. 4 and 4. I'm going to be making relatively large bedrooms. And the reason I'm making the relatively large bedrooms is just... Actually, let's not do it this way. There we go. That way the hallway can be in the middle. We can get rooms on either side of it. That's 8. But the reason I'm leaning towards relatively large bedrooms is just the fact that we are going to want any mood bonuses we can get. And if you give them a decent-sized bedroom, that will make them happier. So you are going to have a limestone bed. Same with you. And you'll have limestone dresser. Same with you. Limestone end tables, and I know they only need 1. I don't believe they benefit from 2. I actually don't know for sure one or the other. I also don't really care. But yeah, so we're gonna want to get all that stuff going. And slowly get ourselves nicer and nicer places. Insulting spree. Went to do an insulting spree on Trev, and Trev went, I'm out. I'm done. I want nothing to do with this. Immediately when the insulting spree triggered, Trev left. And imagine that. 11 by 11 bedrooms for everyone? Yeah. But yeah, no, addictions carry through death. There is no escaping your addictions through death. You have... Oh, no, don't do that. Quest completed. So we did do the first of the refugees have been sorted. And we're also going to go floors. I want fancy floors. I also know I cannot afford fancy floors. So I get the first 2 bedrooms made. And part of the reason I'm also doing that is we only have 3 colonists. This will be blowing up our wealth. This is not strategically something you should do. Why? Okay, that's fine, whatever. But that's okay. That make for some interesting strategies. Arrest, execute, resurrect someone to clear the addiction. Yeah, that would definitely go against, like, the principle of it. A panther is hunting lynx. Okay, so we knew this kind of thing was going to be coming. So let's grab you three. I'm going to bring you just over here wherever we can get you. We're going to grab you three. So you keep running a little bit farther over here. So mob it. Nicely done, team. And the only injuries are on people I'm not really worried about. Okay, we got people assigned to doctoring. Alright, we need to do this so that you'll actually work on it. Okay, so I would like you to lay down, please. Let's make that and that a medical bed. So that way people actually will be able to be forced to go to the bed. Because if it's just a regular bed, you can't do right-click force rest on someone who's injured or sick or whatever. Why? Oh, right, because... Right. So switch all of those to 2. Switch those to 3 and 4. Cool. So that way they go to bed and get treated before, like, an infection kills someone. Oh, like, we're doing this rehab and everyone's, like, slowly recovering. Betrayal. Alright. You know what? Get there as fast as you can. That's not what you wanna see. Oh, and he grabbed the Equa too. Am I gonna get wiped out by a betrayal? Come on, finish Lynx. While the others get stuck. Okay, you're just bruised. All of our people are downed and it's on fire. How's it going today? We just got betrayed and it does look like they're gonna finish us off. Because they're just burning our stuff, all of our people are downed, inside rooms that are on fire. Okay, you're back up. Come on, take out Jackal and then try and get these people out of here. Or just get downed again. That's, I guess, a choice too. Crawl out of the rooms. We can rebuild. Just crawl out of the rooms. No, don't just sit here and get killed in superheated fire. So you're both gonna die. You could survive. That was a really bad betrayal. That was always a calculated risk. That we could be betrayed. Okay, well, goodbye, doppelganger. Goodbye, Lanix. Well, it doesn't matter. They're bleeding anyways, so they're gonna die anyways. So if they would have even tried to crawl there, they're gonna do that. It's just, they're not getting anywhere. And Sextuple is gonna bleed out. That's okay. It is getting to be pretty close to time that we do our switch over anyways. So it's just a forced switch over. And you get to die in a fire. I can't tell you the last time I've died to a betrayal. Voting or no? No, I mean the colony's dead. Like this is the appropriate time to do a switchover. The colony is dead. Wait. Oh, I guess you're not technically dead. I don't think you're gonna get back up though with your injuries. And that panther probably looking real hungry. Yeah, it doesn't even matter where you crawl to. Yep. You may have missed the notice level, but like your rating, it's all gone, man. You're rating nothing. You said hungry and the cat responded. Why are you destroying my stuff? Just kidnap me and leave. Medical emergency. Starvation. Lobel's just like, I'm gonna break your crap anyway. I'm waiting for that panther to hunt us any second. Okay, I've actually not seen that message. They're satisfied with the damage they've done and are leaving. I've not actually ever seen that message before. Where they're just like, okay, I feel like I broke enough crap. I'm out. Cool, man. I had a good time. 10 out of 10. And game over. Alright, so we took 2 attempts at that challenge today. I do think that seems like a really good challenge. For those who missed what that was, everyone who shows up has an addiction, and our goal is to try and rehab them. We did talk about like working on trying to befriend everyone on the map by using food. We didn't get to the point that was even relevant. It doesn't hurt us either, like that part of the challenge being irrelevant entirely, like it didn't make it easier or harder for us. That said, what ended up happening is the first colony died primarily to just withdrawal. We had 3 people got downed by withdrawal. 1 abandoned the colony and they got eaten by a panther due to withdrawal breaks. And then the last one went catatonic due to withdrawal breaks. And so you get the idea. So everyone starved to death. The second one, actually, so we took some pretty bad losses at the beginning. Or I'm sorry, I'm mixing up the 2 runs. It's fine. We took 2 losses very early on. One was dealing with a lot of withdrawals, got food poisoning, puts her consciousness to 0, and died from it. And then the second one, you know, they like, it was the other one was the one that went wild and got eaten by a panther. As far as the other 3, basically things held up alright. We definitely had a rocky thing because of all the mood breaks, but we're just starting to stabilize, and then that betrayal, it was just one of those things that we had 2 of our people in there with the people who betrayed them. I tried to gang up on one of them to try and down them real fast so we could then turn and double team the other one, so it'd be 2 on 1 twice in a row, while my other person ran in to help. And literally no one won any other fights. So, because I don't think I could have run out. I think it would have caught up with me there or been intercepted. Maybe that would have been fine. But I was figuring with the 2 people where we were armed and they were not, there was a good chance I could take them out. But I was wrong. I mean, the one was a hussar, so that's always the thing. So with that said, we are going to be switching our games for the second half of stream. So we'll be switching over to Farming Sim 25. More than likely, I'll give this challenge another go when I do my stream tomorrow at 7 p.m. EST. So for those watching over on YouTube, the stream will go down on the YouTube side and then come back up. So let me go ahead and get that. Oh, well, I'm not ending stream for today, and it's totally fine. Like, I get it. People are like, but that's not RimWorld. I don't want to see that. It's fine.